But while we're talking about things like that, you put your World Eaters up for sale on the eBays.
I did.
The World Eaters seen as, and you sent me the link.
Well, I put it in the Discord to sell.
Yeah, and then you should have put as seen on Winter's SEO's.
Oh, maybe I should.
YouTube channel.
I don't normally do that. I just go, look, there's a painted army. I put it up for a price, and then people can negotiate with me.
And it's still available.
Yeah, there was an offer, but I did a counter offer, and then I guess they didn't see it.
There was an offer.
Yeah, it was like 400 quid below what I'd asked, which is fine. I don't need like the full price, but I counter offered slightly.
I mean, I think it's a very nice World Eaters army. It's got Angron in it. It's got 3,000 points in it.
Yeah, lots of World Eaters.
I hope that you'd keep on the path of chaos.
I don't find them as exciting as I'd hoped. It's just me.
What do you mean?
Well,
how can World Eaters not be exciting?
Because they don't hit as hard as the Blood Angels.
What?
Every time I've got them into combat, I've been like, Whereas every time I get the Blood Angels in combat, I'm like, nice.
What? 1 minute. Chat. World Eaters don't hit as hard as Blood Angels. Discuss.
Well, World Eaters are +1 strength and attack or something, and Blood Angels are +2 strength and attack. They have a better, like the World Eaters have a higher stat line, but they're more expensive as well. So you can bring more Blood Angels. They get better stats on the charge, and all their stratagems are like fall back and charge and advance and charge, and loads of fun stuff. And they got all the extra detachments at the moment because World Eaters haven't had their book yet. I know that.
But Blood Angels +2 strength and 1 attack.
On the charge.
World Eaters +1 strength and 1 attack.
But they're strength 5 base because they're called berserkers.
So
it kind of evens out. But the Blood Angels have all the extra fun stuff, and there's more stuff going on with them. And they're faster.
But World Eaters have those that have the blood thing, so they can get fast because they can get extra movement and they can get extra.
But it doesn't work that well because all I found whenever they did the Blood Scourge move, half the squad was dead, and then they get another Blood and they'd be like 2 guys get into combat, and it's like 2 dudes. So, I think that I already have an army that kind of does that thing, and it's Blood Angels, and they're better.
Pudurua has a blood. It's pretty fun. He says Blood Angels with a chaplain, with +1 to wound. That's chaplains with Blood Angels is a thing that makes Blood Angels better than World Eaters because I don't think World Eaters have a +1 to wound thing.
I can't remember. They can get like some lance abilities somewhere, I'm sure, but
I mean, yeah.
I just found the World Eaters. You get them into combat,
right?
And I found I was never one-shotting units. And then they were dying, which is fine, but they're a bit more expensive points-wise because they're a bit tougher, they're a bit stronger because their stat line's better.
So what you're saying is you want one-shot units? Yeah,
that's what I do. You get blood if I make all the effort of getting a jump pack unit into a charge, I expect to murder the unit it touches. If I'm charging a tank or a dreadnought, I get it. If they don't, that's fine. But if I charge 10 jump pack assault intercessors into any infantry unit, it should be dead. If it's 10 Terminators, I'll concede.
10 jump pack assault intercessors
in one blob, going in with a captain or something. All the impact hits, and then 4 chainsword attacks each. And then if you have a jump pack chaplain, it's +1 to wound, as we said.
Do they have impact hits on the charge?
The assault intercessors with jump packs do.
Hi, Dats and Des. Thank you for your 30 months. Hi, John Badil. Thank you for your 31 months. Bonus Sultan. Hope you're both well. Chat, don't forget to like the stream, says John Batil. But thank you, Dats and Des and John Batil, for your many months and things.
Like the stream.
I mean, look, Blood Angels and World Eaters do the same thing, right? Basically, Blood Angels are heretics.
No, because the World Eaters always did it worse than the Blood Angels, and then because they did it worse, they fell to chaos. Blood Angels did it so well that Khorne wanted them first, but Sanguinius said, nah, get lost.
So... it's okay though to have some armies that are Imperial and some armies that are Chaos and kind of do the same thing.
It's fine to have them, yeah. Not me. I didn't like them. Angron was fun. I will never say Angron wasn't fun, but I still didn't kill things when he charged in. He still didn't kill what he touched half the time.
Angron?
Yeah.
Angron's a beast in close combat.
He is, but then
I send 18 attacks or something.
He does, but then I still found if I send Dante and 6 Sanguinary Guardian, he'll probably be Angron.
What?
Yeah, I mean it's a similar points cost, so it should.
Dante and 6 Sanguinary Guard.
I mean 3 of them are like 230 points, so they're higher. They're more points than Angron.
How many points is Dante with 6 Sanguinary Guard?
Well, off the top of my head, things have changed recently. I can't remember what it is, but like. Sanguinary Guard, 3 of them are 230 points. So 460 points for 6 Sanguinary Guard, and Dante's like 120. So 600 points, let's say.
600 points for 7 models. That can't be right.
It's something like that.
Talk to chat. That can't be right. I'm checking on the points. Chat, welcome to this week's Talky Tuesday with Sultan. Say hi, Sultan.
Hi, Sultan.
Talk to the chat.
They're not saying anything.
You say something to them.
I'm looking up the points for the.
I'm looking up the thing for the Blood Angels.
Oh, you're looking on there.
I'm
like
looking at
I'm on the
Blood Angels Sanguinary Guard.
Was it 230 or have they dropped?
It's 260 for 6.
2 for 6.
260 for 6.
Oh, that's better. Oh, sorry, 130 for 3. Oopsie.
And then Dante is 130.
130.
So 6 Sanguinary Guard and Dante is 400 points.
There you go. And Angron's 430 something or 450 something.
What are you currently painting, Sultan? And when is the next video?
What video? And I'm painting a Spartan.
What are you painting the Spartan for, Sultan?
The White Scars.
Why are you painting a Spartan for your White Scars?
Because I had a Spartan lying around. I'm painting what's in my stash. That's it. I'm getting through all my backlog. I'm moving house, hopefully at some point this year, whenever I sell. So at some point this year I'll be moving house, so I can't have all these boxes with me. Or I can, but I don't want to. So I want to paint all these miniatures, get a good chunk of the backlog out of the way, and then move. And then as soon as I've moved, start doing vampire counts, which isn't 40k.
Vampire counts.
Vampire counts, yeah.
For Old World.
Yes, with vampire counts for Old World, which isn't 40k or heresy,
right.
And use the Age of Sigmar model.
And use the okay.
So it's everything but not.
So you will be painting for not 40k for a system that isn't Old World.
It is
for Old World. For models.
Yeah, models that aren't Old World for Old World. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. So while you're here then, okay, so you're talking about Sanguinary Guard and Blood Angels and everything, right? Okay. We'll get the chat involved in this as well.
Hello.
You've got 78,000 Space Marine armies.
I have less than you.
And Space Marine armies.
I've got less than you.
Well, not including heresy ones.
Okay, I've got more than you.
Okay, 40k. So let's zone in. Let's do a topic. That's what people do on podcasts. So today, hi, welcome to this Talky Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO, and me, and with special guest starring Sultan. Sultan from Not Sultan Plays YouTube channel is here as well. Pour one out for Sultan boys. Get some blood wings for Sanguinary thing. Yes. So today we're honing in, as happens on all the professional podcasts. Today we planned a topic. And today's topic, because we have Sultan, the Space Marine extra, we're going to ask and you can get involved as well, what are the top tier Space Marine units? If we had to tier rank them, thank you, Servo Skull, for gifting a membership. Thank you for gifting a membership, legend.
How are we tiering them? Is it tiering them in how good they are, because that's going to change probably next week, or is it how cool they are?
Why will they change next week?
Because Games Workshop changes the rules every week. So are we talking about how good they are, like, oh, the rules are awesome, or are we talking like how cool is that unit?
I think what happens on podcasts and things is people talk about Winters SEO is all about the meta. It's all about the most.
So let's talk about how cool they are.
Updated meta.
So how cool?
We're all about the balance status.
So I'm including Legends units. So there's loads of Legends units.
Edit some says Blade Guard are the coolest.
I think Blade Guard are awesome. I have 15 for my Black Templars alone.
So
you used to do squads
15
of 5.
in Black Templars alone?
You used to do squads of 5.
And how many have you got in the Blood Angels?
6. I used to have 12, but I sold some of the old ones.
So from S tier down, where would you put Blade Guard in a... Hello, son. Where would you put Blade Guard in the list then?
Blade Guard, I think.
Marks out of 10. Blade
10.
Guard.
10 out of 10.
If someone wants to collect Space Marines
tomorrow, Blade Guard. Okay, if you want to collect Space Marines, they are 10 out of 10 for 3 reasons.
Okay.
I don't know if it is 3. I've just shouted 3 reasons. Okay. 1, they are 100% Space Marine. You think Space Marine is Knight, Space Knight.
Yes.
And they are Space Knights.
They're even in Space Marine 2 with the thing.
Yeah, they got a thing, and they're also in the Amazon series. They're everything.
Right.
So
okay.
They're 10 out of 10. They are Space Marines.
Space Knights.
If you want to care about the rules, and you're playing a combat army, they are some of the best combat beasts for 90 points or 80 points now. They dropped. How the hell did they drop? but they're less points now. So I used to
Right.
bring 6 with a lieutenant. I still do. Bring 6 with a lieutenant in a land raider against you with my blood
Lethal.
angels, and they just go in
Yeah.
and murder everything. And you know that because you
Yeah.
go, I'm running away from them every time you move away from them. But then there's another land raider on the other side of the table, more stuff.
Okay.
Whatever. They're cheaper. Why are they cheaper? So that's 2 reasons.
2 reasons.
And the other one is.
Did you just put that finger up?
Yeah, the one. And the other one is I said 3 way too early, so I can't think of another reason.
Right,
They're
okay.
just awesome.
6 with a chaplain or 6 with a lieutenant. New play. So
Should
this is our tier list, by the way. We're going to say, like, if you're a new player, start again. We'll edit that. Hi, welcome to this week's Talkie Tuesday with me, your host, Winters SEO, and special guest starring Sultan. Well, we're going to talk about the top tier Space Marine units if you are thinking about collecting Space Marines. These are the units you must.
Should we start with characters then?
We just
because the characters, when we say units, we're always going to say, oh, and you should bring this and you should bring that. We should start with the characters.
Hi, welcome to this Talkie
You've already you said it. We're just characters are still units. We're still good. We'll do a character list, but we'll do a other list.
But Blade Guard are in it.
Blade Guard are in the unit list. Yeah.
Can I give you a reason why I don't like Blade Guard?
Is it because you don't want to paint them?
It's the painting.
Yeah,
There's a lot of detail on the Blade Guard.
I love them.
And I can't do it anymore with my eye.
Oh.
I can't do the Blade Guard anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you play a proper chapter, i.e. not Dark Angels, because your 13th do what they do. They don't have many Primaris.
They're a proper chapter.
No. I'm not including the 13th.
Okay.
They're OGs. They get to be their own
Dark
thing.
Angels.
But Dark Angels, I ain't painting you any Dark Angels. If you have Black
No.
Templars, I got some Black Templars for you. But yeah, so really cool stuff. So we'll start with the characters. So because people are going to say, oh, what about this unit with the chaplain? Or what about this unit with the captain? So let's start with captain.
Tapping noise on the mic. Mic check, guys. Is the mic okay? I'm going to unplug. So now you're listening to me through the piece, and then we're going to replug. That should be good now.
Is it? What's its input? This isn't a good start.
What does it say? How's the sound check? Sound check testing.
Oh, Jesus.
Testing 1 2.
Red. You've gone red.
Test
Stop. Apparently the mic wasn't on.
That's better. Sounds better. It's a rapid, soft clicking sound.
How did that sound better? There's no way that sounded
it's
better.
Worked.
He just started screaming. He's redlining
it's good.
it.
Okay. What? No, we fixed it. I'm glad you're here because you pressed the buttons on there, and I don't dare press any of those buttons because when you press those buttons, things happen that are unexpected.
Well, all I did was press the button that said the microphone was... I didn't turn the microphone on. I just pressed the button, and when you plugged it back in, it said, hey, you've got a microphone. So it turns out your microphone just wasn't
I have got a
plugged in
microphone.
properly. Yeah.
It's amazing how the computer knows that I've got a microphone.
It does now.
Welcome to this Talkie Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO, and I'm here with special guest... Sultan.
Hello.
And we're talking about the top tier Space Marine units that you need if you're going to collect Space Marines. And we're going to start with characters, of course.
Yes.
What are the best characters, the characters that you have to get, really, if you want a good force? You know, not lore-wise, not, you know, a new player wants to get down on the table and make sure stuff doesn't suck. I'm not saying broken or anything, but stuff doesn't suck. So starting at the top, one of the best characters... they have to get is...
Space Marine Captain.
A captain.
So, a captain. There are a couple of different captains, and it depends on how you want to run your army, but the Primaris standard captain, if you're just bringing foot sloggers in the Mark 10 armour, he's great. He gives you a free stratagem every battle round, and he has a cool, like, once per game combat thing he can do, so it's fun. But captains in general, across the spectrum, with all their rights of war, which is the free stratagem thing, they're just really strong.
Not a Gravis captain, not a Phobos captain, not a Terminator captain.
As I said, it depends what you bring.
Pick a captain then. Tier the captain. What is the best captain? What about captain on a bike?
So my favourite captain is the standard Primaris one.
Right.
Oh no, tell a lie. Captain with a jump pack, thank you. Captain with a jump pack because I bring loads of jump packs.
Do they come with jump packs now?
Yeah. You know that. You've got one running at your lines all the time. Every time we play, there's one of those guys.
Is there one with a jump pack?
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Is there?
Mate, how many times do I bring? I bring like 3 a game at you. What do you think they are?
I think they're Legends choices.
No.
They've actually got captains with jump packs now.
Yes, they have captains with jump packs.
Have they got captains with jump packs now?
Yes.
He's the best one.
He's my favourite.
He's your favourite?
Yeah, so if you're bringing guys... I mean, I wouldn't recommend bringing a captain with jump pack if you don't have a squad with jump packs. Because then he's just by himself.
The Eternal Crusaders, though, it says the best captain is the Indomitus captain with the
that
beautiful
was going to
shield.
be my next choice because the Indomitus captain is just a standard Primaris captain. The standard Primaris captain can have a bunch of different options.
But what about a Terminator chaplain?
Terminator captains aren't very good.
Sorry.
Terminator captains aren't amazing because if
Terminator?
you're going to bring a Terminators, you bring a librarian.
Why not a chaplain?
So chaplains are also decent. They're both better than captains. So if you're playing Black Templars who can't bring librarians, you bring a chaplain.
Right.
If you're playing anyone else, you bring a librarian with Veil of Time for sustained hits. And also because librarians do psychic wibbly stuff, and that's fun because you don't get much psychic in a Space Marine army. So bring it when you can. It's cool.
Top of the tier list is a Space Marine with a jump pack.
A Space Marine captain with a jump pack,
okay.
or the regular captain.
I haven't got any of them. I got the old school ones.
You got the regular captain.
But I haven't got any of them.
So those two are kind of joint top because they're kind of the same thing. One guy just has a jump pack.
I like lieutenants though, with the lethal hits and the fallback and the thing.
Lieutenants are really versatile, which is some of the best stuff. So I would say lieutenants are like a strong near the top as well because the lethal hits the fullback. If the normal guy, it's fullback shoot and charge, which is decent, like really good. Again, I bring him with my blade guard for that fullback shoot and charge,
right?
Because it just means you can't tie me down.
Okay.
So lieutenants are cool. Chaplains are great across the board because +1 to wound is really strong in combat.
Do they do that on the bikes as well? The +1 to wound on the bikes.
Yes,
they do.
Yeah. And
because bikes got good as well.
The bikes are really good.
Bikes are good now.
Yeah.
Terminator Captain doesn't have great options.
Exactly. If the Terminator Captain had a few more options, then sure. And also, his rule is just reroll charges, which is sometimes good, but realistically,
you're looking at librarian, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because they're sustained.
More killing. Yeah.
Sustained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a chaplain, because again, easier killing.
Well, the thing is, the chaplain with the Terminators, chaplains are good with the bikes. They're good in a normal unit. They're good at it, but Terminators often don't need help with the +1 to wound.
I think they do. Strength 8 versus everything. Now they can take on vehicles.
Okay.
If Strength 8 by themselves, they might win some vehicles on 5s. With a chaplain, they're winning it on 4s.
So you get pinned down, right? You're getting waterboarded, and you have to pick Terminator Chaplain or Terminator Librarian.
Oh, Librarian, yeah.
You're picking a Librarian.
Yeah. I'm just saying Chaplain is a bad choice.
Terminator Librarian.
Yeah. So that's good. So Terminator. Okay, there we go. Do one for each armor. So your Captain. It's my favourite. It's the jump pack Captain. Then you've got the Terminator Librarian, and then you've got Lieutenant in normal armor because lieutenants are good in general. Those are like some good characters. And
what do we think?
That's what I think.
What do we think?
If I'm only allowed to choose one of each, that's what I'm saying.
Do we agree? Do we disagree?
Chaplain on bike is the best.
So Lieutenant on foot, Chaplain on bike, Librarian in Terminator armor, Captain with jump pack. If you had to pick them.
Yeah, and I'm better saying Chaplain on bike because that's the only one we got. Because it's the only one we got in the book. If you go Legends options, then you've got a million options.
Gravis armor, Phobos.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
We're talking about proper Space Marines here. I'm joking. I have a Raven Guard that are all Phobos and an army that's full Gravis. So we need more lieutenants in those armors.
We do need more lieutenants.
Well, in Gravis, not in Phobos. We don't need more Phobos lieutenants.
We need a Gravis lieutenant. We need a lieutenant on a bike. We need a lieutenant with a jump pack.
Terminator.
We need lieutenant and Terminator armor. There's not enough lieutenants.
There's a million lieutenants, and none of them are the armor choices, except the Phobos guy.
So there you have it. Those are chat. What do we think? What have you? Are there any other Space Marine characters that you'd put top? I mean, no one's talking Tech Marines. No one's talking
Apothecary. Then there's none of those. Like apothecaries aren't as useful these days. I don't even know what happened to that Gravis apothecary. I don't know what he's doing.
Haven't played since first edition. No one played first edition. Lots of people tried to play first edition. I tried to play first edition. No one played first edition. It's impossible to play first edition. The rules were whack. They're out all over the place. What about the Emperor's Champion?
Well, he's just Black Templars. If we're talking generic, then it's not him, is it? If you're playing Black Templars, then I'd say Helbrecht and Grimaldus, not the Emperor's Champion.
So best named character then, Dante, Grimaldus.
It's hard because it depends.
Calgar's a beast.
Yeah, but they fit the armies they're playing. So if you're playing any of those chapters, then you want the named character. Yes. So if you're playing Ultramarines, the best named character is Calgar. Let's ignore Gilliman. He's a different league.
Yes.
So Calgar.
Yes.
If you're playing Black Templars, for me it's Helbrecht.
Yes.
Because he's just a monster.
Is Helbrecht better than Dante?
I think so, yeah.
Because Dante is a flat 3 damage weapon. But Helbrecht, if he's with that unit, can get +1 damage on his thing with the shield.
So Helbrecht has +1 strength on the charge.
Right.
And he has at the start of the fight phase a mortal wound bomb.
Yeah,
and it's not the charge phase. It's it's not impact phase. It's every fight phase.
The fight phase.
Like you start the fight phase, and it's your turn, and your select fight. Hellbrecht gets to go first with that one attack.
So you charge. You get mortal wounds, and then if he's still alive, when the defender gets to fight first at the start of the fight phase, he gets to do it again.
Yeah, so he does it at the start of every fight phase.
Okay.
And it could do a maximum of 6 mortal wounds. So he's just blatting people.
But I think he's with some knights or something.
I normally
then
put
he
with
can
sword
get his
brethren.
damage or sword brethren.
Yeah,
they get his damage up.
Yeah, so he's damage 4 sword with 8 attacks.
Is he damage 3 normally?
Uh-huh.
Is he?
So he has a damage 3 version and a damage 1 version, which can become damage 2 and so on. So yeah, Hellbrecht is the best for between them and Dante. But then if you bring in Blood Angels, Dante has a charm all of his own because of what he can do with the squads he is with. If he's with Sanguinary Guard, -1 to hit and wounded combat.
Yes.
+1 for everyone else to hit, so a Sanguinary Guard is going to hit on 2s.
Yes.
And he's got +1 of advance and charge and all this other stuff. He's got lots going on.
Yes.
He's really good with who he's with. Likewise, Hellbrecht is really good with who he's with that +1 damage squad. So
there you go. That's the tier list for the Space Marine characters. Grimnar is better than Hellbrecht.
No one plays Space Wolves, they're rubbish.
Yeah, that's true. No one.
That's true. Poor Space Wolves. I mean, they're really cool, like as an army, but if we're having to talk rules, which we are, they're crap.
They need to that
they need
range needs a full refresh.
They need the models need a refresh. That's kind of its own thing. But then the rules need a refresh because I don't know what they're doing with them.
Space Wolves used to be the most popular non-generic, non-thing.
There's so much flavour. Yeah.
And you can tell which is the most popular because they have the highest exclusive models. Like they had this and the things and Longfans and Thunderwolves, so much flavour, so much. Blood Angels close second. But Blood Angels have had the refresh and things like that. I think they've been holding off on the Space Wolves refresh because there's so much to do.
I'm hoping there's a big... Black Templars took years, right? Because the Black Templars refresh in 2021. Before that, when was the last time Black Templars had a new model?
I don't know.
They didn't even have a codex for the longest
time.
Third
edition was the Black Templars one.
So that's them. I'm hoping Space Wolves get a similar treatment because Black Templars got Crusader squads, all their characters. They got the Sword Brethren squads. They got the Neophytes. They got all this cool stuff.
Right.
And specific data sheets for their tanks, which basically just has a multi-melter. But they have all this stuff. So you have an Impulsor running around that also has a multi-melter.
Yes.
How cool's that? Space Wolves need something like that. Not the tank thing, but just a full refresh with all their cool stuff. And if they do have Primaris tanks, what makes them wolfy? What's a wolf thing they can add to that to make them cool or something? Or a little change?
Yes.
Because Blood Angels have all their jump pack stuff. They're the jump pack army. Dark Angels are like the Blade Guard and Terminator army. So we need something for Space Wolves to make them special. And I think it's more like Blood Claws and Grey Hunters and stuff like that. Redo those squads. One kit, but you can make both from it or something. Yeah.
I mean, like in the Emperor's Children kit, there's one kit, but you can make the shooty guys or the close combat guys.
Yeah, just do that for Space Wolves and have all the cool sculpts, all the fur and pelts and stuff. Yeah. And agree with Daniel, new Bjorn. A new Bjorn in Redemptor scale. Not necessarily a Redemptor Dreadnought, just Redemptor scale. He's been upscaled.
Problem with the thing about Bjorn the Fell-Handed is he's been alive for a very long time, and they get him out for all the parties.
They do.
They can't just shove him in a Redemptor Dreadnought body.
Keep his chassis.
Because the Redemptor Dreadnought body burns out the person who's in it over time and kills them. So you're not going to have someone lasting another 10,000 years. So Born won't live if they stick him in a new thing.
No, they don't need to. Keep him in his box. Just stick new arms and legs on it.
Yeah. But we need new Space Wolves. We need new Sculpts. We need new Blood Claws. We need new Thunder Cav. We need Long Fangs would look really cool. See, the other thing about Space Wolves is at the time when Guilliman, when all the legions were split into chapters, because a legion and the Russ turned around and said, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah, because he's such a child, isn't he?
I'm going home.
Yeah,
and he refused to split it into legions. The Lion said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that," and never did. He split them into chapters on the surface, but like the Angels of Caliban, there's a thing in the lore, like 96% of their actions they've done with the Dark Angels main chapter. So for 10,000 years, if 96% of your actions are with, you're working hand in glove.
Yeah.
So the Dark Angels didn't, but they said they did. The Space Wolves didn't, and they said they're not gonna.
The Black Templars were a new chapter and then expanded to Legion size.
The Black Templars found a workaround.
Yeah.
They did split it, like Crimson Fist, Imperial Fist,
Black Templars. The Imperial Fist split, but then the Black Templars have got thousands of Marines.
The Black Templars said, we will reduce down to chapter size. It's actually written in the thing that they will go back once the Crusade's over.
And it's never been over.
But for now, we're crusading to kill every single member of Chaos that exists in the galaxy ever. So once the Great Crusade is over, the Second Great Crusade, the cleansing, then they'll go back.
Yeah.
So they said, yes, we're going to do it, but hold my beer. The Space Wars, though, and then what happened was the Primus guys came along, and a bunch of them were made from the Canis Helix promogonoid gland, and so they're second founding Space Marines,
Space Wolves
for the first time, and they shipped up to Fenris, and now we've got successor Space Wolves for the first time, as well as the OG Space Wolves. But then that'll blur together over time, because the OG Space Wolves, what they'll do is instead of giving them 19 ingredients to turn someone into a Marine, they'll give them the 22 ingredients to turn them into a Marine. The extra thing, not only do the models need a thing, but their lore needs Someone needs to look at the Space Wolves in a serious way.
That's what the GW don't really do. The codices used to have a new rules every time, didn't they? Like, not new rules, sorry, new lore every time.
Yep.
And they don't at the moment, because we haven't had much lore change in any of the books since 8th.
No.
It's been the same copy-paste kind of throughout the editions.
There's little nibbles.
But it's like a paragraph.
There's little nibbles.
Yeah.
But they used to move the lore forward in the codexes, and now they don't.
Yeah. No, agreed. But yeah, so those are the characters that we like.
Okay.
Your custom Space Marine chapter notwithstanding, or whatever. I guess units then. And again, this all depends on what how you want to run your army. If you're running a combat army, which I do most of the time, there's very specific units that I like. But it depends for me. If I'm running a combat army, are they the guys on foot, or are they guys on jump pack, or are they the guys with bikes? Because my Black Templars are all on foot.
Yeah.
And my Blood Angels are a mix of foot and jump packs, and my White Scars are all bikes.
Yeah.
So what are the best?
So bring back Limon Russ with some new lore and massive refresh, like the Dark Angels agreed.
I wouldn't say the Dark Angels had a massive refresh, to be honest.
But they did have a refresh.
Small one.
So they've had a little bit.
But the Blood Angels had the same refresh.
The Dark Angels had a half refresh. Because they did Deathwing Knights, and they gave them Inner Circle Companions. They gave them a brand new unit.
And Primarch.
And a Primarch.
And then the rest was an upgrade kit.
And some Primaris fighters. So they did a half, but they didn't touch any of the Ravenwing.
Yes, and that's what's happened. That's what happened with the Blood Angels, right? They had a refresh, which is the normal Assault Intercessor kit with jump packs that they gave an upgrade sprue to, which is now Death Company.
Yeah.
Got no problem with that. I'm fine with that. And then the new kit was the Sanguinary Guard, which I find really disappointing. I prefer to use the Heresy Dawnbreakers. I don't really like the Sanguinary Guard kit. That's by the by. And I think we got another character, didn't we? Oh, yeah, we got 2. Astaroth and Lamatis, of course. They were really cool. They're very good. We modded, again, the Black Templars. That's a refresh. That is all their core units put back in. And
some new stuff, because in the Blood Angels, they've missed out the Dreadnoughts. They've missed out the tanks, Baal Predators. So there's like a part...
They Legends them all,
Yeah, there's a part... so Legends for now. And then Blood Angels, 11th edition, 12th edition, they'll be coming back. The Primarisified ones.
And that's why I think the Space Wolves need a refresh like the Black Templars. Like if you did a full one, so, and it doesn't need to be massive. You do one kit that is your Blood Claws and Grey Hunters. You do another kit that's your jump pack equivalent, and you do another kit that's your Wolf Guard. You've probably got a base of a good army there. That's a big refresh with that. And then you've already got I almost called him Rogue or Dawn. That's not his name. What's the dude with the sword and he holds his hand out that Darren Latham did?
Trevor. You got Trevor from that box where they included all the Phobos guys years ago, which was a really weird choice for the Space Wolves, trying to say, hey, Space Wolves will do Phobos. No, they won't. Yeah.
So I keep going to call him Fafnir Ram, but that's an Imperial Fist from the Heresy.
It's Trevor.
It's Trevor.
Or Ragnar Blackmane.
Thank you. Him.
There is another kind of army, Stranger Come Knocking, there is.
Oh, shooty armies, yeah.
So it needs a thing. So, guys, what do you think? Let's move on.
Space Wolves, poor guys.
Best Space Marine units. If your mate Tim, he's starting to collect some Space Marines, and you're like, right, you need a captain. You're gonna want a chaplain on a bike. We talked about the characters.
Yeah, you want a librarian. Yeah.
Here's a couple more units that you might want to think to add
those characters
to your Space Marines.
Yeah.
What do you think are the go-to units for a new player to add to their Space Marines. S-tier stuff. Chat, weigh in here. Sultan, what do you think?
Okay, so let's say it's going to be an all-rounder force because it's their first go. They don't know if they want to go combat or shooty. Let's kind of pick the middle of the ground.
Right.
So they've got a chaplain on a bike.
Yes.
So that's one of the characters we suggested. So they're going to get some Outriders. I'd say 6 of them because they're awesome. Get them in.
6 Outriders on bikes with your chaplain.
Yeah, +1 strength and damage on the charge and a chaplain with them.
When they go charging it's 2 damage.
It's really strong.
With the
really
chaplain
cool.
+1 to wound.
Yep.
On 2 damage. No AP.
That's -1.
With their chainswords?
Yeah.
Is it
it's not his chainswords are -1.
So Space Marines on bikes now -1, 2 damage with the chaplain with +1 to wound.
Yeah, they're strong. They're good.
Again, another thing that I need to get.
So that's cool. They all go in together. I've got 18 of those for my White Scars.
Blade Guard?
I was going to say, probably Blade Guard, but we haven't given them a character to go with unless you bring in the generic captain.
Right.
But even then, I would probably, again, put Blade Guard with a lieutenant, personally.
Blade Guard with
lieutenant. We did say lieutenant. Yeah, so a lieutenant with
Blade Guard with Judicia.
We didn't tell our friend Tim or whatever to bring a Judicia.
Also, you can't buy the Judicia on its own.
No, he's 40 quid on eBay.
He's 40 quid on eBay.
Because you have to buy him in a kit.
Or he comes in the Champions of something. There's a £100 box. And in the £100 box, there's the Blade Guard guy with the banner. There's the Judicia. It's got like 6 models in it.
Yeah.
For 100 quid.
It's because they priced them all at character level. Yeah.
You can get Judicias.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know. Plus Blade Guard. How annoying, right? This is a tangent again. The Blade Guard
Company Heroes.
Ancient. Yeah. No, Company Heroes is something else.
Right.
The Blade Guard Ancient is he's Eternal Crusader saying units he likes.
Right.
So it just happened to be at the same time you were talking about this Heroes of the Chapter thing. But the Blade Guard Ancient, right? He's a Blade Guard Ancient. Guess what his weapon is?
It should be a lovely sword.
It should be Mastercrafted Power Sword. It's a close combat weapon. It's his hand.
Oh.
He doesn't have a sword. So he hasn't got a shield.
Yeah.
He's got a banner.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a shield or a sword. He has a pistol and a close combat weapon.
So get rid of the pistol, give him a sword.
Well, exactly. Why the hell is this Blade Guard guy not got a sword to swing around the banner?
Mind you, Titus in Space Marine 2, when he grabs the banner, has got a pistol. And he's shooting with the pistol.
That's for the story.
And somehow he's reloading it one-handed.
Exactly. So surely it's easier to swing something that doesn't need to be reloaded. But also that's because it's cool, because you want the guy going bang, bang, bang with the thing in the game. But yeah, so you want some Blade Guard with a lieutenant and not a Blade Guard Ancient.
What's good? Mini eggs. Mini eggs are in season. I also, by the way, anyone watching this in the UK, just in case you were wondering, there was a big yellow thing in the sky the last couple of days. I put some research. Did some research into it. It's something called a star. It's really dangerous. It's a nuclear reactor. Avoid at all costs. But it's up there, and the sky changed a funny color as well. Something like it was almost blue. But don't be alarmed with the change. It normally grey and nothing. Now it's blue with this star up there.
Someone turned the saturation filter up.
It's just the brightness has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Don't be alarmed. Just stay indoors, okay? Stay indoors. Don't get cancer. Had a 1K bag of mini eggs. Dude, I would do filthy things for mini eggs. Filthy things for mini eggs. Do you like mini eggs?
They're all right.
Mini eggs or cream eggs?
Depends what. Like if I want to just snack on something, it's mini eggs. If it's just like, as in like if I want to just keep dipping in and into something, I don't want loads of cream eggs because I'll vomit.
No.
But if it's just like a one-off, I'll have the cream egg.
Yeah. I got a box. I used to love the cream. Many moons ago. We're talking the 80s now.
Oh.
I love cream eggs so much that I bought.
How was Thatcher?
Yeah, exactly. For one of my first jobs ever, I bought a box of mini eggs, and I ate them all. And ever since then, don't like mini eggs that much. I mean, mini eggs are still great. They're mini eggs, but I'll walk past them in a shop.
I had a curly whirly as a kid once, and then was sick. They were unrelated.
Right.
Like I just ate the curly whirly, and then I was ill.
Yeah.
Like bug or something.
Yeah.
Associate the two together. I haven't seen a curly whirly in years, to be honest. But I associate the two in my head, and I'm like,
I've got a theory. Like everyone gets smashed out of their face when they're younger on one particular drink, and they can't touch that drink again.
Vimto.
Is it?
Yeah, fizzy Vimto.
No, I meant alcoholic drink.
Oh.
Like smashed out your face on a thing.
Oh.
Like for me, it was rum. I remember getting my first proper alcohol poisoning was on the rum. I was like 16 at some party. and all that was left towards the end of the evening was the rum. So we were drinking all the rum, and now if I smell rum, it's...
Nah.
No, you've never had that?
No, you just got power through.
You've never had that?
No.
Not like...
I've woken up in my own vomit from drinking too much whiskey. Like when I was in the military.
She can't touch wine. For her, it was like fortified wine when she was younger.
Just keep drinking it.
Even the smell of wine, she'll...
No, keep drinking it.
You've never got smashed on something so hard that you can't touch it, you can't look at it, you can't smell it.
Oh yeah, I've woken up and been like, and like now, even weeks later, just been shuddering to think about it. But then you just, you get over it.
For Marius, it's
you
Guinness.
Poison yourself again.
For John Batil, vodka and Red Bull.
Just poison yourself again.
Guinness, sadly, Guinness is good for you. It's got like iron in it and things. It's supposed to be really healthy.
I imagine it's like eating 6 loaves of
Black
bread.
Tower wine. Can't touch the stuff. Very specific wine.
I don't drink very much anymore.
Black Tower wine makes me an evil bastard.
I can't drink very much. I for the first time this year I had more than 2 pints.
Scotch and Coke.
The other day.
We were at the murder house last weekend or the weekend before.
I had
we
2
got
half
pretty
pints.
drunk there.
No, I had 2 half pints.
I got pretty drunk there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't, because I'm on. So I have ADHD. I'm on like Lisdex amphetamines, which is a stimulant. It's like Elvance is the brand, and it means that I already got all the stuff going on in my brain I need. So I don't drink very much. Like I still like a drink, but it's for I've always just liked them for taste. So I'll have a nice whiskey and go, I don't want any more. Whereas previously, before this, because I'm chasing dopamine, because that's what ADHD does, I'd be like, I'll have another drink.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore.
Young King asked, what kind of Coke we talking about? Diet.
I wasn't talking about Coke.
Diet. Yeah, I mean, he's on the medication, so no alcohol, just lots and lots of Coke.
Caffeine-free Coke, yeah. Coke 0.0, which is basically fizzy brown water.
And crack and fentanyl. Don't do drugs, kids. Right, next, on to best units. We've done
Outriders. We've done Blade Guard.
Best Space Marine units, guys?
So I think a good staple unit, one of the two, you can choose between one of these. Regular Intercessors. Because they're cheap. They take lockdown objectives for you. We're talking about a well-rounded army.
Okay.
Cheap lockdown objectives for you, and they get double shots. Pew, pew.
Okay.
Or Stern Guard. They don't lock down objectives as well, but they got good guns.
So you've got a jump captain and regular intercessors.
You said to me, pick my favourite units. I said, are we doing a well-rounded force? And you said, no, we've now got to this point, and you've changed the narrative to, this is Timmy's first army, and he wants a well-rounded force. So now we've changed it.
Okay.
And that's why I said the captain with a jump pack or the regular captain.
How many intercessors would you put in?
We're talking like a 2K force.
Yeah.
It's 3 squads of 5. If you're doing a well-rounded force, 3 squads of 5.
Right.
Lockdown objectives, they're cheap as hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
And then if we are keeping... So that's our captain with normal, without jump pack, going with them. And then our captain with jump pack, you get some assault intercessors with jump pack. And I would say 10.
Gladiator tank. Make all 3 versions without magnets. Great kit too. Gladiators,
I think
the
Gladiator Lancer is the best Space Marine tank.
Would you...
outside of Land Raiders.
Would you recommend to Timmy to get Gladiators no matter what?
Out of all the tanks, yeah.
And we've got Repulsor, Executioner, Gladiator.
I would still go with Gladiator.
See, out of all these, out of the Repulsor, Executioner and the Gladiator, if I had to recommend a tank for a new Space Marine player, it would be a Land Raider. I'm
putting them into different categories. I'm putting them into different categories.
It's a tank.
If you want a shooty tank,
yes.
You want a Gladiator Lancer. D6, 2 shots, D6 plus 2 damage every time.
Yes.
You're doing lots of good stuff. It's cheap as chips. It's like 130 points or something silly.
Jim says, Gun Sultan, you're better than that.
I've been told to do a well-rounded army. I don't want to do it, because if we're doing a combat army, I'm 100% saying Land Raider all the time. The las cannons are just a bonus.
Land Raiders are better.
The las cannons are just a bonus.
Better
it's
than
the
the
ability
Gladiator.
to drop people off into combat that's the thing that makes that tank worth bringing.
Because it's 4 las cannons with Oath of Moment and a Hunter-Killer missile and a multi-melter. Land Raider Redeemers are just really mean as well if you want to get close. But surely the best Space Marine tank is a Land Raider.
I don't even think about the guns on it. I don't even think about the guns. It is an armoured ability to get my Blade Guard into your face.
You've turned up here with 3 of them before.
Only 2.
All loaded up.
Well, 1 was a Spartan. So yeah, 3. Fine. But yeah, no, and again, the las cannons were just a happy accident.
I wouldn't wish a 29-year-old Land Raider chassis on a new player. I don't
think they are 29. They're 1999. I mean, it's not young.
I would recommend buying a Horus Heresy Land Raider.
Land Raider might get legends, so I wouldn't recommend it. Land Raider won't get legends. If I'm wrong, I'll
I can't see
eat something horrible.
You see, like legends,
Hobnobs
things,
without
like,
chocolate.
They're clearly changing, and I can see Land
they got rid
Raiders
of
are
Land
so
Speeder.
iconic.
Some
Land
speeders.
Raiders and Rhinos and Land Raiders. Speeders are pretty. I mean, everything they've legended you can say is iconic in one way or another. But a Land Raider,
I'm not sure a Land Raider will go.
If they ever redo
Like, I
the
don't see
Land
drop
Raider,
pods will
I
go.
think they'll do a Heresy version. Like they've got Heresy Land Raiders. If they ever redo the Land Raider for 40k, I can see them changing like they did for Termagants, Hormagaunts, Gene Stealers for the Tyrannid range. I can see them, or Sternguard, I can see them updating it because maybe the mold is breaking a little bit after 29 years or how many years, but I can't see them getting rid of Land Raiders. They're so iconic.
I don't think they'll get rid of Land Raiders.
I don't think they'll get rid of Land Raiders. So if you're going to...
I think that, again, Land Raider is something they'll just update.
Yes.
I don't see them going. Tactical squads are a point that I perhaps concede, but I also think it would be just so they could print money if they just went, here's a new tactical squad.
Yeah.
And it's all their new sculpts they've done. Like they've got, they've made Primaris guys with heavy weapons.
Tactical squads.
They've made all the special. So basically, what you do in a tactical squad, a modern Primaris tactical squad, you give them one guy who has a Hellblaster option.
Yeah.
You give one guy who has the Melter Rifle option, but he's
Yeah.
in Mark 10, like in Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
You give one guy with the Pyre Blaster Flamer thing
Yeah.
that the Infernus Marines have. What other? And you got a Heavy Bolter, which is easy enough. Like the Stern Guard guy already walks
Yeah.
around with Heavy Bolter, so use the same thing for that.
You can put a multi-motor from the Eradicator. The thing about the Tactical Squad, it's famously the best-selling kit that Games Workshop ever
I think if they
produced.
did a upscale, they call it Primaris Space, but they just call it a tactical squad again, wouldn't they? Because that's what they do these days. Like Stern Guard are just Stern Guard squad. I think if they did that again, missile launcher's a good shout, but they got the new Desolation Marine things that I don't use, but they just say that's your missile launcher. I don't know. I'd rather they have an old school one. The Scouts have a missile launcher. The upscaled Scouts.
They do?
They still exist.
Yeah.
Scouts didn't go anywhere. They got refreshed.
Yeah.
And Scouts were gone for a while. So I think tactical squads have a good chance of being refreshed in the future.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it sooner rather than later, but we'll see.
Once they've gone through the range refresh, what I'd like to see is, like we've got intercessors, assault intercessors, and I'd like to see them sort of brought together a bit. There's a couple of units that can have one data sheet instead of 5 data sheets. Do you know what I mean? Like intercessors and assault.
That's how they're buffing it out, though,
the
isn't
book's
it?
really big.
I know, but that's what they like. That it seems.
It would be.
That's how they're justifying a lot of legend stuff. They're like, look at all these units you got, so we legend all these, and it's like, yeah, but some of those legends choices, like Captain on a bike,
Yeah.
we kind of need him.
Yeah.
Because having 3 chaplains is not narrative.
Yeah.
And that's why I have to use, for my White Scars army, I've got Captain on a bike, who, this is how it works. At the end of 9th edition,
Yeah.
Jim, Stranger Knockin, had made me an awesome
Evening, Amazon.
Khan on a bike.
Yeah.
Khan on a bike got legends at the start of 10th.
Yeah.
And they said, now you use Captain on a bike, which was an index choice.
Yeah.
As soon as the Space Marine Codex drops, they legends Captain on a bike. So, right, you've deleted one unit to combine him with another. Then you've deleted that unit.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing unless you use legends, which we always do. But now my Space Marine, my White Scars army, my characters in it, other than Kosoro Khan and any foot slogging guys running around, it has to be Chaplain on a bike or nothing. If I'm using the normal rules, if I'm using legend rules, then I can bring my Captain on a bike, my Stormseer on a bike, I call it, Librarian on a bike, which you saw the other day. That's how I bring the flavour back in. So yeah,
this would be complicated, considering how many captains there are. What do you think of this idea? So the next Space Marine Codex, 11th edition, 12th edition, whatever. You open it up and there is one captain entry, and it has a points cost, and then options, and then you add. So you have one captain, and it's got a rule.
that's why it is, though, isn't it? That's why they're split, because as you say, it's not points.
But say they go back to points.
If they go back to the old school points, like every other game,
I think they're gonna.
then yeah.
I think in the next edition we're gonna see some reintroduction of some points. So I think you're probably gonna see a unit costs this much, and then if you, like, for example, Devastators.
Everyone's saying, so make it more like Horus Heresy. No, it's make it like 40k was.
Yeah.
40k did it before Heresy was ever even a thing.
Yeah, I've heard behind the scenes that there's talk about adding a bit of points back in. A good example is take a unit of Devastator Marines, for example, and they cost this much.
Yeah.
However,
there used to only be one captain data sheet.
However, if you want to give them all las cannons, it costs 10 points more. Yeah?
Yeah.
Another example is, this is a gladiator. However, if you want to make a gladiator
Jacques
lancer,
Wood.
it costs 20 points more. Jackus Woods, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you. Absolute legend.
I like you pronounce this second vowel.
Jackus Woods from France.
From Plymouth.
Is he? Why has he got a French name then? It's Jackus.
It's a long story, apparently.
It's a long story.
I don't know this
I met him once. He's a nice guy.
I met him a few times. Lovely guy.
Actually,
I just
I've
painted
probably
up
met him
some
a few
towel
times.
for him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that your towel on the Instagram that you painted
The red
for Jackus
ones.
Woods?
Oh, well, the Pathfinders are mine because I was so inspired by the paint job I did on Jacques' Riptide and stuff, and I was very pleased with them.
You did the Riptide and the check
And
out
Farsight,
Sultan Plays on the Instagram. Just see the things that you just been painting with. Were those? Did he want those green bases with the slime
They
bases?
matched his Kroot.
Because
Because I did his Kroot. Because basically the Kroot were like.
Those
I painted, but
chemical
basically
bases
it's
things
like
look
a
really cool.
weird long story, but basically
Jackus Woods, GG's. Thank you.
said paint the Kroot however you want, and I just got done painted lizard men for
Right.
Old World, and I went, can I paint them like lizard men? Because they're
Yeah.
blue and they're cool, a bit different.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So I painted them. So I basically painted all the Kroot guys like lizard men, so blue, and then I painted all the Krootox red.
Right.
So they're nice bright colours, and I was like a moot green like acid base
It
would
works
be really cool.
because the Kroot with their colours and then the acid base.
Yeah.
And then you've got the red
matches,
Farsight
yeah.
thing with the green because it's got.
Red and green match nicely. Yeah.
It looks good on the tabletop. It's like armies that really pop on the tabletop. Really, yeah, look good. Yeah.
I like mixing up bases with things.
So here's an idea. So they reintroduce points something. Say you had a data sheet. You open up your book and inside there's captain, right?
Yes.
And the captain has one rule. And the captain rule could be he can do a CP for free and reroll charges. Say that's his rule, right? There's whatever. Pick a rule for a captain. And then captain on a bike, add X points and add X movement. Captain in Gravis armor, add 10 points and he gains 2 toughness. Captain in Terminator armor, adds a wound and a thing and gains deep strike. Captain in such, and you can just have, and it could be on one data sheet. So you get your thing, you add your points, and he's in Terminator armor, so he does,
I think the only issue
instead of on 6 data sheets. Servo Skull, thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well. GG's in the chat for Servo Skull. Thank you, Servo Skull. Thank you.
The only thing I can
Absolute
foresee being
legend.
an issue is the rule thing you mentioned. So the Rite of War thing.
Yeah, Maria says, look, probably hard to add that to the app.
No, because New Recruit does it already. For
Right.
Heresy and everything. You can already do, again, the guys mentioned earlier, like a bit like Heresy, it is. So you can already do that in New Recruit, and New Recruit's really good.
You can already do it.
So yeah, the app. So on Android, you can get an app called New Recruit. I think if you're using Apple, you have to use the website. But New Recruit is where I build all my Old World lists, all my Heresy lists, and all my 10th edition lists that require legends, and they're all in there, and it's great. So when I make a Praetor or whatever for Heresy, it has all his options, and it understands if he's a Blood Angel because I've put that in the start. So it's like, okay, you can upgrade his weapon. He wants a Perdition weapon, so for an extra 5 points, you upgrade your power weapon to this.
Right.
So it has all those options in, and it goes Legion specific on everything.
Right.
So obviously you use Paragon Blade with him, but like you can then choose Combi Weapon and choose between Magna and Minor, and it does all the adding up for you.
Right.
It has all the options there for you. It's really, really good, and it's completely free. So that's why I
New
like
Recruit
it.
is great.
It's
I
got-
also use New Recruit.
Yeah, I got
Recruit.
it for Old World. Just Craig told me about it, and I started using it for Old World because it has a play function where it has all the data
Right.
sheets. And then basically, I realised it had all the 40k Legends units in it,
Right.
which the app doesn't for some stupid reason. That like the Warhammer 40k app, if the GW one, if it had a filter where you go turn Legends units on, I'd be using it all the time. But they don't. They don't have that. So I have to use New Recruit to use any Legends units.
Which Space Marine chapter has the bet? Thank you, Andre. Yes, I'm glad you like the Black Templars versus Traitor Guard game. Good. Which Space Marine chapter? I'm here with Sultan.
Hi.
He will know the answer to this question. Which Space Marine chapter is best for close combat? Can be Blood Angels or Black Templars.
It's one of the two, yeah.
Having faced them both many times and not having them, I'm going Blood Angels. And the reason why I'm going for Blood Angels, like Black Templars are pretty good as well. Black Templars are solid. They've got Grimaldus. They've got But the reason why I'm saying Blood Angels is because their ability is turned on all the time. Whenever they make a charge, +2 strength, +1 +2 strength.
No,
+1
the Black
attack.
Templars one is on all the time. This Blood Angels one you have to charge.
You have to charge. It's turned on all the time.
No.
But the Black Templars one you have to pick, like whether it's against this
Yeah, but
thing
it's on all the time.
or that
No.
thing. No. But it doesn't work all the time.
No. Black Templars is whenever you're in combat. So basically, there's 4 options right now.
Yes.
There's 2 there's one that gives you 5 up Feel No Pain or something silly the whole game. 6 up Feel No Pain the whole game. Fine. Or 5 up Invern or something. It's one of the good ones. It gives you some kind of Feel No Pain. I never use it. And then there's the one that lets you fight Psychers. There's 2 of them. That are good. So one is lethal hits in combat all the time, the entire game.
Right.
And the other one is sustained hits in combat all the time, the entire game.
Okay.
And all the enhancements are around
charge.
No. All the game, always on.
All the game. Okay.
Blood Angels, you have to charge. If you get charged, sorry.
But
I it's a hard choice though, because the way Blood Angels play,
yes.
they lean into jump packs and mobility.
Yes.
So if you like fast-paced armies, I would go wheeling in and play and do that. Like, that's really fun. They will get there faster than the Black Templars.
But you can put the same units in a Black Templar list minus Sanguinary Guard and
the
things like that.
stratagems better support jump packs in the Blood Angels list.
Yes, I was saying.
But the Black Templars in general, with their special units and what they do, are, I think, stronger. It's just how you play them. Like the Black Templars on foot or in land raiders
close
running
combat.
forward,
Best close
really
combat.
strong.
That's what I think, because the Blood Angels Codex also helps support those. It's a good book.
But the Black Templars haven't got their codex yet. We can't judge too fairly. I think
moment,
right now, because of the sheer wealth of options that you could run the Angels with, they got like 6 detachments or something, not including the core Space Marine detachments.
Yeah.
Because they got 4 in their book and then another one, so 5 detachments. They got another one at Christmas.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot going for them. They could do loads. And then the Black Templars, once they get the new book, it should be interesting. It's just how you play them. I think they're really evenly matched. I would bet on Helbrecht against Dante, though. Yeah. If you got into a close combat match with those two.
What I'm saying is, they're both good close combat. I mean, someone said Dark Angels, not the strongest close combat thing. But between the 2 armies that I've faced, and I've faced them a lot, Blood Angels seem to have the better strats, the better... They both hit like a brick. They both are very, very good in close combat, but the Blood Angels seem to have more stratagems, more things, more enhancements to make them sing more.
Yeah.
And I'm more worried as an opponent going against Blood Angels than I am against Black Templars.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Sorry, I'm just looking at Marius Gage's article.
Sultan, you're a painting wizard. Yeah. Can I ask your opinion on a colour? I'm trying to find a Citadel colour match for the blue of Legio Presagius.
Cantor Blue would be my suggestion. So they look really similar. Marius Gage, if you go on my Instagram, I think I've got something that's really similar. I didn't realise I was doing this colour scheme. There's like a couple of reels in or something. If you go on the page, it's like coupled down. There's a knight, an Armiger knight that's knocking over like a barricade or something, like a column. And that's blue and white quartered or halved.
Show the picture.
They're not going to see it.
They are. There's the knight.
Are they going to
hold it up? There's a picture of a knight.
It's not going to...
Blue and white quartered.
It's not coming up very well.
It's lovely. I like the column
kinda.
look.
It's kinda. So that's Cantor Blue, but what I did was I sprayed it initially, I think, that one. So I put some masking tape down it. So I sprayed it all white.
Right.
Put some masking tape down it, and then there's Tempest Blue from Colourforge, the spray primer. It's colour matched to Cantor Blue. So it's really good.
Cantor Blue is a nice colour.
Cantor Blue is
nicer than Crag Blue.
I agree, yeah. And then I highlight it with Lothern Blue, which is like a really neon bright highlight.
I know that one.
But you jump up 2 steps, basically. So instead of going straight to Calgar Blue is what I normally say. Calgar Blue is an awful colour, don't recommend.
Yeah.
Jump up to either Fenrisian Grey if you want a washed out look, or Lothern Blue if you want a really saturated look. I like saturated. If you're going for more washed out, then yeah, Fenrisian Grey. Fenrisian Grey is great for other things too. It's just good to have in your pack all the time. Sultan, how do I find your World Eaters on eBay? Great question. I don't actually know. I just would have thought World Eaters 3,000 point army. I'm not sure.
If you're in the Discord, go to them. If you're in the Winters SEO Discord, it's in the marketplace in the Winters SEO Discord.
Oh yeah, if you're in the that's the best way to do it. It's in the marketplace. It's expensive, but I'm willing to chat. I put it up for if it's going to the random plebs on eBay. I put it up high, but if it's a Discord person, we always talk.
It's in the thing. We're on Marketplace. He's there. Yes.
Yeah.
There. It's in the. It's the last entry in the Discord. 1 minute. Yeah. I'm going to click on the link. Search.
It's up high. But yeah.
There.
That's not coming up.
Look at
They
that.
show all the pictures. Yeah.
Warhammer 40k battle ready painted World Eaters army around 3,000 points as seen on Winter's SEO, which he hasn't written in there yet, which he should write that in there.
I ran out of characters before I.
100% positive feedback.
I do.
He only wants £15,000 for it, so it's nice
That's
and
not
cheap.
15,000.
Nice and cheap. Currently making a size of the Emperor army, kit bashing the size.
That's cool.
You guys said it then. Yes, size
yes,
of the Emperor. Very
Andrew,
cool.
have you looked up? Oh gosh, what's his name? There's a guy on Instagram who's incredible. I need to find him.
Is it Trevor?
No, it's not Trevor. Trevor size. I'm going to find him. There's a guy you should definitely look up. If
Thank you,
haven't
Sazzy.
already.
Thank you, Servoskull. Thank you.
Oh gosh,
The Eternal Crusader will sell his kidney. I didn't think he had any kidneys left. You play 40k. I'm all out of kidneys.
I'm just looking up this guy. The guy who paints this awesome size of the Emperor. I'm trying to find.
They are
him.
epic.
They are a really cool color scheme. I'll find him in a bit, and I'll shout who he is.
They've actually got them in Space Marine 2 game as well. That's
they do,
how cool
yeah.
they are. It's like they put the
I'll find him.
Yeah, Space Marine 3 greenlit.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Well, they're already working on it.
I want that
apparently.
Necron Tomb World to wake up. That would be cool. We've done Orcs. We've done Tyranids. Let's have some Necrons. Some Necrons would be nice. With a Catan as a box and all that boss, and it would be awesome.
Yes. Oh, here we go. So I found one of his models. Now I'm trying to find who he is. Chris Pike on Instagram.
So while Sultan's looking at all of that,
Chris. So it's __ Chris _ paints _ stuff _ He's awesome. He's doing a lot of orcs at the moment. But if you scroll back down, Scythe of the Emperor, where his first army, and he's done some cool kit bashes.
Is there going to be an episode like this for Horus Heresy with a rundown units? I mean, this is barely an episode running down units. But that is cool.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up to the screen again. You won't be able to see all the detail, but he's like an heavy metal style painter, basically.
What's his thing?
Chris _ paints.
See, there's a thing as well that I've seen live streamers do and podcasters where you can click buttons and you can share screens and images. You could do it on a PC.
You can.
And then
You've got screen share there as an option.
I've got a screen share button on here.
Okay, so all you do...
No.
Okay, never mind.
We need to... That's behind the scenes of...
I didn't touch anything. I was just making sure the screen was still selected.
Yeah. That's a behind the scenes off camera. It would be nice to have that kind of technology where you could pull something up and press the thing. I wonder what happens if I do press the screen share button. I'm not going to press the screen share button.
It's probably going to... I just don't know which screen it'll share. It's probably just going to show chat to chat.
Why don't you have a stomper? I don't know why I don't have a stomper. I've got many other things. It's just I'll get a stomper at some point. It's not high on the list. It's not high on the list. I should get a stomper.
Speaking of high on the list,
yes.
Timmy's army should include Terminators.
Yeah.
I don't bring them every time, but they're so iconic.
Terminators. So if you're getting a Space Marine army, what tank did we set? Terminators.
Gladiator Lancer.
Gladiator Lancer. If you have to pick a Space Marine tank as the top.
Okay, fine. Let's go with we'll go with Land Raider then, because you keep going on about it.
I'm saying Land Raider, you're going Gladiator
Well,
Lancer.
what
does the chat think though?
I'm saying Gladiator Lancer for well-rounded shooting things. Like we've got lots of close combat guys with jump packs and stuff. If it was me, I'd say Land Raider because I own 7. I think.
7 Land Raiders.
I've got 3 for the Blood Angels because one's a heresy tank, but I can still use it in 40k.
Okay.
I've got 2 for the Black Templars.
Yes.
I've got 1 for the
Voidwalkers?
No.
Raven Guard?
Where's this random one I'm thinking? Oh, Salamanders.
Salamanders.
So 6 then. And then I've got 2 Spartans. 3 Spartans. 2 Spartans? 3 Spartans.
3 Spartans.
Yeah, 1 for the White Skies that's ongoing, 1 for the Salamanders, and 1 for the Death Company.
Vindicators are dope. Everyone's bringing Vindicators now. Vindicators are the new hotness.
They are in Heresy with those laser destroyers that you keep telling me to get.
But no, in 40k. Like they're the meta things.
Was that a joke?
It's not a joke. Vindicators are the meta right now.
Oh.
Because they have the Demolisher. It's like AP -3 and it's D6 plus. It's D6 plus 3 shots. And it's strength 14 -3 D6 damage. And they can fire it into close combat. And it's like it's got a 2-up save or something. It's reinforced. Vindicators are the thing. They just went
Here's
up in
another
points
one
again.
though. I'm not convinced. And Marius Gage is probably actually right. So if Vindicators are what they have been for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
I think they would have gone Legends. But because there is I know they don't share models, but because there is a Horus Heresy version, Games Workshop don't need to do anything to just keep it there.
Yep.
Like, even if their molds break, they've got a new Heresy version. So I wonder if there's a way, like you say, the Land Raider thing. I wonder if where they're already in Heresy and they're clearly a popular choice,
right,
they'll keep them going for 40k as well. I wonder. I don't know. I can't think of any examples where that's not happening. Like Hunters and Stalkers and stuff, Heresy doesn't have those.
Yeah.
And no one was using them in 40k.
No.
Vindicators right now are selling, by the sounds of it. And they get... Not that seems to have stopped GW with like Vanguard Veterans and stuff, but... they seem to be selling in 40k, and there's a new version in Heresy that also did well. So I don't know. Like, land speeders are different because they weren't doing amazingly well because you have javelin attack speeders in Heresy and they're completely different.
Yeah.
And I love javelins, but yeah.
Repulsor Executioner or Godhammer Land Raider, which is the best?
It all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be a cool guy, then you'll bring a Land Raider because you'll put 6 Blade Guard and a Lieutenant inside, like I've been saying this whole time, and you run them at Winters. If you do shooty stuff, then you probably want a Repulsor Executioner because that gun is monstrous at strength 16 -4 d6 +4.
It is.
Yeah,
but it's one gun as opposed to 4 las cannons with Oath of Moment shooting.
You're not trying to convince me. I've already told you what my tank is.
Yeah, and you've already said that
I'm
there's
trying
seven
to...
Land Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Land Raiders are iconic.
Yeah.
Do you think that all the old... I think there's a clear intention. So I think all that stuff is going to go to Heresy, and so you won't have Whirlwinds and Vindicators and things and any of that in 40k. I think eventually it's all going to go to Heresy, except that some of the stuff in 40k, I mean, all the new stuff will be there, the Repulsor, the Gladiator, and then some of the iconic stuff I think will get new sculpts, like Sternguard are there, Terminators are there with
Vanguard
new sculpts.
must be coming.
I think Assault Terminators are coming, I think Vanguard are coming, and I think that some of them are so iconic, like I can't see them getting rid of tactical squads. They're so iconic. I can't see them getting rid of Rhinos or Land Raiders, and maybe there's a new sculpt for that for 40k, but there will be a different sculpt to the Heresy sculpt, like it is now. I do. Sculpt. I can see them trying to make people like you and I buy. You've got Blood Angels, but you bought new Land Raiders for your Blood Angels for Heresy.
That's because you made
even though you could use the Land Raiders for 40k.
You said I couldn't. I said I've got 2 Land Raiders. They're not the right ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but he's like, no, they're not the right ones.
They're not
so you
the
made
right
me spend
ones.
like 60 quid on another Land Raider.
I didn't say it. Games Workshop said that.
No, you told me. Because I said I only play you, and you went, you need the Proteus one. So I did that. So it's you. It's you who's told me I have to do that.
That's because...
Are you even my friend?
No, that's because Games Workshop said that I have to say that. You can't use...
I am the man who comes on your channel every other week and brings almost entirely Legends armies sometimes.
Yes.
I don't care what
Legends
games...
play Legends.
I brought all the new Phobos stuff. It's like 8 years old now.
Yeah.
I still brought Javelin Attack Speeders when I brought the Raven Guard. Legends
it
are
works.
Where the cool stuff
the
is.
Phobos ones with the javelins, it worked.
But and I don't want to buy the £60... not 60, like 40 quid, 40, 50 quid. I don't want to buy the chunky guys because they're crap.
What chunky guys?
The Speeders.
Huh?
Gosh, I'm forgetting their name. Storm Speeders.
Right.
The Primaris Speeders.
Hammerfall speeder things.
The Primaris ones.
But you've got them in your White Scars.
I do, and I don't like them. And I brought javelins with my White Scars the other day, and I was like, these javelins are way better.
Javelins
they
are
look
way better.
cooler.
Yeah, they do. They
I
look
think.
sleek.
And then and they've got a little guy who's just deaf between the 2 guns.
Yeah.
And I just think they're really, really cool.
Well, I said that you couldn't bring the Land Raiders with your Blood Angels 30k that you do with your Blood Angels 40k because the Blood Angels and 30k Land Raiders are different. And because Games Workshop said that they're different, and then you have to... What they want you to do is buy all your Land Raiders and Rhinos again, and I want you to buy all your things again as well. And so the armies look different and unique and things.
Joke's on you. I just bought loads and loads of Mark 6 Marines for super cheap, and I use them for everything now. Because I'm not buying an assault squad for Heresy. I'm buying a Mark 6 squad and then getting some chainsword arms and sticking them on the side.
I've got like 5 assault squad boxes there.
You probably didn't want to start it. So, well, you're doing your Emperor's Children and stuff. Or whatever. No, I know what you're doing.
Night Lords.
Yeah, they know.
The Emperor's
okay.
Children.
Yeah, you're doing your Night Lords
I've
stuff.
got to do all the Emperor's
Children. They need Raptors,
first.
so yeah.
Yeah, so they need jump pack guys. But I was going to do a bunch of guys without... Because the jump pack guys come with the bolt pistol chainswords as well. Because if you got the tactical squads and the Mark 6 squads, then you need the guns.
Yeah. I just have tons and tons of bolt pistols and chainsaws.
From all the Space Marines that you've collected ever.
So I just buy loads of bodies.
Buy Lord and Kills Vex.
So it's all fun and games until winter's over. One shots your land raider turn 1. That's why you bring 2 or 3.
How are we with the Emperor's Children? We're doing really well. There is a 2,000 point Emperor's Children battle report coming up this Sunday. No, I haven't painted 2,000 points. I added a knight. So I'm up to about 1,600 points of the Emperor's Children. I haven't done any of the transports yet, but the Emperor's Children, I can field 2,000 points with a knight. I'm quite pleased with myself.
I want to run the White Scars against them. That might be a bit mean. Okay, White Scars are just because they're on my brain at the moment.
We could do that.
I think White Scars would hammer them. So
well, I've got a knight at the moment, so whoever you run against them, I need a knight to play at 2,000 points.
I think the White Scars would hammer them.
Because I don't have 2,000. Well, your
the
White Scars
buffs
list,
to the bikes.
Your White Scars list has got an insane amount of multi-melters for some reason.
Because that's what's on ATVs and speeders. Yeah.
Back in the day when I did tournaments. Like way back, like 4th and 5th edition. And I had 2 lists around that time. One that I was working on for a long period of time was...
Your Nephilim.
Yeah, one was Drop Pod Salamander lists.
I remember that, because you said all turn 1, you just went on the table.
Yeah.
Go, wait.
And the other list that I used to run quite a bit was White Scars. And White Scars with attack bikes and with speeders, and you could get an insane amount of anti-tank in it, which...
So pre-Oath of Moment Change... they weren't amazing. With the Oath of Moment Change, those melters are scary.
What's tomorrow's video? Tomorrow's video is a 3,000 point Horus Heresy battle report. Khan versus Sigismund. World Eaters versus Imperial Fists on the Ares Palatine on Terra. This is the way the world ends. That's what's going tomorrow. Have you ever won an international tournament? Yes, I have. Yes. Yeah, I have. I've won I am the 2021 No Retreat. Did you know this? In 2021, I won the No Retreat Legends things. I've got 100% win record at GT, ITC, GCSEs. Me. 100%. Yeah. Right, more.
Do you think the Bretonnians would win against your Emperor's Children?
Probably not. We've got guns. More Space Marine units that you absolutely must get if you're starting Space Marines. We've done the tanks. We've agreed that I'm correct and it's a Land Raider.
Well... That wasn't the question we asked. If we're just asking what my favourites are, then I can very easily do that.
The Emperor's Children are weak, yes.
Yeah, they're a bit shaped. But it's fine because they're Chaos, so no one wants them to be good.
Scouts.
No.
But they're uppy downy.
No.
But they're uppy downy, good for secondaries.
Who gives a shit?
People who play the game.
No. No.
Dreadnoughts. Pick your...
Tassanara said Dreadnought. That is a different thing. Yeah, it feeds you. It just walks up to you with a power claw and shoves sliced white bread into your face.
Dreadnoughts. Pick a Redemptor. Pick a Dreadnought.
The Redemptor, I think, is the best of them.
Ballistas.
Redemptor's the best of the 3.
Brutalis.
It's got some shooty and it's got quite a lot of punchy.
I think the thing that makes the Redemptor extra special is the -1 damage.
Yeah. It's tougher. It's got the plasma is really good. Either of its guns are really good. Depends what you're using it for. Yep. You can magnetize or whatever. Yep. But the mortal wounds on the little gun, the little onslaught under its arm is great. And the big gun is also mortal wounds. Or you can use the plasma, which is just deleting Terminators. 2
Brutalis Dreadnoughts charging towards you is scary.
Yeah.
They do have impact hits. And
Brutalis are cooler.
Clearly cooler. And they're clearly better in close combat because they have 2 arms. However... 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts charging down towards you is really annoying if you're firing damage 2, damage 3 weapons.
The problem is the Brutalis. It's got 2 multi-melters.
Yes.
It fires 2 shots.
I know.
A multi-melter is 2 shots.
Yes.
So if it's got 2, it should have 4 shots.
Yes.
And that's what. Yes, it's twin linked.
Yes.
And that's what they've done this edition. Apparently for some units, it doesn't seem to work all the time. But yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Redemptor Dreadnought, is it up there?
I would say of the Dreadnoughts you can bring right now, it's the best one.
What Dreadnought would you want back as a Primaris variant? A Librarian or Chaplain?
If I had to choose one, it would be Librarian because only Blood Angels get it.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one for for everyone to get it, it'd be Chaplain because that's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. I mean, I have to use my Brearth Ashmantle. Remember the twin flamer Dreadnought for the Salamanders. I have to use him as a Chaplain Dread because he has Flamestorm cannons.
I'll be controversial and say I would like to see a Primaris version of a Leviathan Dreadnought.
Isn't that just the Leviathan Dreadnought? Because Primaris dudes can pilot a Leviathan.
But okay, so you got the Dreadnoughts now. The new Dreadnoughts, they're doing Dreadnoughts. Brutalis Dreadnought, Redemptor Dreadnought, Ballistus Dreadnought, and you had Quanticar Dreadnoughts, the OG Dreadnoughts. A Leviathan Siege Dreadnought was designed from the ground up to be used in sieges. To just walk
like
through,
an ironclad,
like an ironclad,
but they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone as well. So imagine if there was. So you got the Brutalis.
So is the ironclad the modern, the 10,000 years later version of a Leviathan? It's a siege dreadnought.
No,
they're different things.
Yeah,
even though they're both siege dreadnoughts with the grav and the fists.
Yeah,
okay.
They're both versions of siege dreadnoughts.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if the ironclad was like we can't do Leviathans anymore because we got. For half the forge wells that make them are gone, and haven't got the material, and we've forgotten how. So will you make these cheap ones?
Yeah. So Leviathan dreadnoughts are made on the forges of Terra. That's why they're so rare.
Right.
But
they're still made in 40k.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as much as anything is made in 40k, they're
a year or something.
They're one a year. Yeah.
Right.
Like Volkite isn't made anymore. The reason why Volkite disappeared is because the forges that made Volkite were all destroyed during the heresy.
Till Cool came back.
So there's a bunch of stuff. He didn't reintroduce Volkite though.
Neo Volkite.
A bit of Neo Volkite here, yeah. Neo Volkite.
The lieutenants and. I don't even know lieutenants. There's one lieutenant can take it, and Blade Guard sergeants can take it.
It's rare. Stable plasma technology.
Yeah.
But Leviathans made on Terra, and then obviously you need other versions of siege dreadnoughts. So they made ironclad dreadnoughts, other versions of siege dreadnoughts. I'd like to see a Primaris version of a siege dreadnought. I think it would look cool. I'm just saying. I'm thinking about the look. I
think that would be a Brutalis with all the frag armor
with more bulk.
And smoke. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I think that would look awesome. Like if you get a Brutalis frame, so it's a Redemptor Dreadnought with the fists, because the Brutalis is already up armored compared to the Redemptor. He's got more plates,
more chunk.
So all you then do is you stick the Magna things or whatever it was, the smoke launchers on the shoulders, because he's got room, and then you stick all the ablative frag armor that the Land Raider used to have on the front.
Make him chonk.
Well, that was a smoke launcher gun on the front, but like stick those on, and basically it's ablative armor, and do the same thing that a Rogel Dawn tank does once per game, make it damage 0.
Bulk up the places where the joints are and stuff, like extra armor and stuff. The thing is, you can tell. Here's the thing as well. It's really pop quiz. What are the favorite units that 40k that Games Workshop ever made? What are the most favorite units in the world?
Dreadnoughts.
And the answer to that question is, what do they make the most of? Think about how many versions of Dreadnoughts there are. There's loads. If you think about the Chaos ones as well, and the Heresy ones, and there must be 20, 30 different versions of Dreadnoughts.
I suppose you could say the same for tanks though.
No, but tanks is a thing. Like Dreadnought, right? So it started off with Dreadnought, and then it became then we have Contemptor Dreadnoughts, Derridair Dreadnoughts, Leviathan Dreadnoughts, Redemptor Dreadnoughts, Brutalis Dreadnoughts, Ballistus Dreadnoughts, Chaplain Dreadnoughts, Librarian Dreadnoughts. There's so many different types of that's just Loyalist Dreadnoughts. Here's another one. You can, like Terminators. How many different types of Terminators are there? There's
2.
Shed loads. Because you can think about again Loyalists. You can go Assault Terminators and then Terminators, but think about Loyalists. You've got Deathwing Terminators, and then
they're not a different sculpt though.
Cataphracti Terminators, Tartarus Terminators. You can just tell what sells by how many different versions of something has been made. And like captains, that's why there's so many different versions of captains. That's why there's so many. Terminators are popular AF, is what I'm saying, and Dreadnoughts are popular as AF. It wasn't like you mentioned Stalker and Hunter earlier on those versions of tanks. We've only seen one version of the Stalker and the Hunter, and they've been legended, and we're never going to see them again because they were always crap and no one ever wanted them.
Also, because no one brings flyers because they nerfed flyers.
Yeah.
So.
Thunderfire cannons came, went. Yeah, you can
see
tell
Thunderfire is something I'd like to see them redo because Thunderfire is a cool thing.
Yeah, it was.
I know I had one.
Dude,
I saw
imagine Thunderfire was the first version, but say they had. It's basically Tech Marine with mobile artillery, right? And now we've got the Far Strike. the Thunderfire could come back, but with different versions. Like, here's the thingy bob one, here's a missile one, here's a laser one. Here's
I suppose then you're straying into Imperial Guard, though,
with
aren't
the
you?
thing.
Because they're like, if you want to bring those kind of things, you've got now field ordnance batteries, you've got artillery teams, you've got heavy weapons teams in the Imperial Guard. They are the guys who bring in the little mounted guns.
But Space Marines use all the things that the Guard use.
Well,
if it
rapier
works.
carriers, where are they? You know.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Yeah. So like a Thunderfire, a Tech Marine thing, like just there was some meat on those bones, which obviously they didn't sell and didn't make much money off them. So
it's unfortunate as well, because the Fire Strikes, I got zero interest in them.
I like them.
I think they're dull.
I like them.
This is the weird thing, because when
why do you think they're dull?
It's just a dude on a gun platform.
It's
not a dude. Again, this is where Thunderfire Cannon was interesting. It's a Tech Marine controlling a cannon. He's got some character to him. He's got his big servo harness.
Yeah.
He's controlling it. And there's this cannon that's like responding to him
Yeah.
as he's driving. That's cool. Another dude sat on a gun.
Yeah.
We've seen dude sat on gun.
And
every tank kit comes with dude on gun.
And the Thunderfire cannon can move 6. Whereas the Fast Strike turbo turret, they move 3.
But he jumps out and has to pull it along.
Has to drag it.
Yeah.
And then you roll a dice to advance with it. So he jumps out and it's really pulling it.
Yeah. It's just not a dynamic model.
Is it the reason why you don't like it is because you're Space Marines, you like to go fast? Blood Angels go fast. White Scars go fast. Raven Guard jump and all that. You like to go fast.
No,
and it's more of a static, sit here, shoot you thing.
Like,
I've got 6 Fast Strike servo turrets.
Yeah, and they're boring. They're painted well.
They're overcost. It's 450 points for 6 of them.
Yeah. No, I play Imperial Guard. They're not a fast army. They're really enjoyable. They've got some cool stuff going on. Think about, again, let's say the equivalent of a Fire Strike servo turret.
Yeah.
Let's say it's the new Krieg heavy weapons teams. Right? With the guys on the flamer. How cool is that? You've got 3 heavy weapons teams on these massive flamers and then a rangefinder calling in shot. That is a cool unit.
Yeah, but
that is awesome.
A
dude sat on gun is boring.
No one's gonna ever disagree with you when it comes to the Krieg, the Guard, that all the models have so much personality. I love the guys with just the binoculars off to one side. And
the problem is it's so easy to add personality.
Guard.
Like when you see it and you know it's there, it's like, wow, well done, dude. Like the one dude in the field ordnance battery who's got his mouth open because the gun's firing. And he's doing that because it's the ease thing. It's like open your mouth, otherwise your eardrums will burst. And he's pushing his ear defenders into his ears. So that's awesome. Space Marines won't do that because they're Space Marines. They don't react in the same way to that kind of impetus. No. But you can still add character. An example would be whenever I do my White Scars, ways of adding characters, like, okay, how does a White Scar think?
How does
a White Scar is withdraw, then return. That's the thing, withdraw, then return. And part of it is sometimes no backward step, which is always move forward. So you think about,
that's
that's...
Imperial Fist is no backward step.
It is, but also he learned, it's a whole thing in the book Scars. It's really interesting. But withdraw, then return is kind of the main thing. And basically think about, okay, White Scars there, even if they're on a tank, what gives them movement? So I got a guy holding an Onslaught Gatling cannon on top of my repulsor. Yeah. Okay, what's movement? Big plume. And then add some extra stuff to his armor flying behind him. That's character, because he's put all these fetishes and totems on his armor because he's from a tribal planet, essentially from Chagoras. That's how you add character to it. So when you've got a guy or a Tech Marine on servo turret, what makes him special? What is his thing? Because at the moment he's just sat there thing. So okay, add screens. Add a bunch of floating screens and servo skulls around him that are range finding and looking at things. Add a comms pack to the back that's beeping and it's like sending comms off. Add a servo harness.
When are you going to do that?
I'm not, because I find that I'm not going to use the models. So this is where the thing, I can appreciate a model even if I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
And I don't play very shooty Space Marine armies, we know this.
Yeah.
I can appreciate a model. Like the Hammerfall bunker is cool, but I ain't going to use it.
Is it?
If it was meant to be like Draz just said there, this is what I said, they should be able to do a Hammerfall bunker like a drop pod, like they do in Space Marine 2. Yeah. The Hammerfall bunker is a drop pod. Like, how cool is that? Just comes down, flamers everywhere, and it's just the idea is it's drop zone clear. Like that kind of thing. That would
be cool. Imagine if Hammerfall bunkers had deep strike.
I thought it did. When the way they described them when they first came out, they said, they get called in from orbit. It's like sick. It's like a drop pod.
Yeah.
And I thought you could have maybe dudes inside, or stand dudes inside, like a fortification. You bring it. You can't. You don't do any of that. So that's off topic.
It could drop pod in, right? And then when it relies on if there's no one inside it, it could hit on 4s or something because it's all servo operated and servitor operated. But if you embark in it, then it hits on Space Marine, and maybe you could man more guns.
It'd be cool if you stuck a Tech Marine in it, and it hits on Space Marine, and it gives it +1 to hit. There you go, off it goes.
In turn 2, yeah, you need to...
But you have to buy a
Tech Marine in it, then it hits on 2. So Tech Marine can survive the drop inside it. You need to be in it. Maybe it would, I don't know.
But that would be cool. Jump in,
that would be cool. If you
he calls it in, it lands, and he goes and jumps in. That's off the thing, but like that's how you make models have character, and that's where you... Like, the Desolation Marines are garbage.
Desolation Marines, the ones with garbage.
I don't care about their rules. With their big missile launchers, they're crap.
What?
There are definitely ways to make those guys look far more interesting.
The Nerf gun guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole internet called them Nerf gun guys.
Yeah.
And then I've seen people do conversions with the things on the shoulder and loads of different... Better.
Exactly. So the fact that somebody converted it, as you said, there's one guy who's put made the shoulder mounted, and the sergeant's holding an Auspex and going beep. That's already a cooler model.
Yeah.
Doing 5 of those, I admit, will be difficult. But like, it's the fact that GW didn't even... They just kind of clearly went, so intercessors and stick missile launchers on. Even if they'd just been normal missile launchers, they'd look better.
There's definitely...
They wouldn't have been inspired, but they'd been better.
There's definitely a few misses from time to time. Like the company that drops like Knights and Be'lakor also drops Nerf Marines.
Yeah.
There's some misses.
It's some misses. Like...
But they can't hit the mark all the time.
No, I mean, suppressors are weird. Like, they're cooler concept, the bouncy dudes, as you call them, with the big cannons. But they never got a multi-part, so we don't really know what their full potential is.
And you can't buy them in a pack on their own again. They're another one of those packs where you have to get it in a huge big box just to bring out 3 suppressors, and they only come with one version of guns. If there was different... If you had jumpy... suppressors are jumpy devastators.
Yeah.
So if they had different guns that you could mix them, they would be.
Imagine a jumpy dude. So the intercessors, Inceptors, the jumpy dudes with the bolters. I was about to say, imagine one of those with a heavy bolter. They already technically have those, but imagine one of those with a assault cannon. How cool would that be?
Thank you, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, for gifting a membership. Thank you, and Servo Skull. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you so much. GG's in the chat, please, for Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. And thank you to Servoscoff for gifting thing. And Legends. Thank you. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of time till suppressors get different guns, right?
I mean, it's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years.
They came out in...
Intercessors, when they came out, they only had one gun. But now in the Intercessor box, it does come with a fist, and they do... come with the...
I don't know if the regular one... I don't think the regular one does. The regular Intercessor...
You can't get a fist on the Sarge?
I think you can give him a fist, but I'm not... I don't know enough if it comes with the box. I know the Assault Intercessors box comes with some stuff, but I haven't bought an Intercessor kit in a very long time. When I first bought it back when you bought them in 10s at the time, I'm sure you still do now, they didn't have fists and swords and stuff. The Sergeant didn't even have a chainsword, I don't think, in that box. I don't think.
Yeah. Are they going to do that? Because that's a heresy thing. So in heresy, it's like they all have one weapon.
Yeah. They might have changed the kit slightly. They might have given it something. Well, that's what it was, right? And that's why I think the Tactical Squad would be a really cool release, because all they do, it's not feasible that someone then goes, okay, I'm going to buy 10 Tactical Squads and then I can make Hellblasters and this and this. So you kind of can, but it's difficult. And you can already do that with a lot of other squads, but that's why I think it's because you've already got these additional squads. You can then buy a Hellblaster box, a Intercessor box, and a blah blah, and then mix and match and make your tactical squads as well as the tactical box.
I think it's one of the only Primaris things that gets a Thunderhammer.
The Assault Intercessors kit is, So the Assault Intercessors has all that stuff. The regular Intercessor box, I'm not sure has much in.
Does taking part in the chat help with the algorithm? I've no idea how the algorithm works. If you figure out how the algorithm works, let me know. Apparently, liking the stream is helpful, and more the active stream is more active. Apparently, so yes. Let's say yes. Apparently, I have no idea it works. Where are we? More Space Marine units that you have to... Terminators, Land Raiders, bikes, fast stuff. Think of a fast thing.
What? Sorry, what? Fast
Space
things?
Marine units that you have to get. It doesn't have to be anything. You said Dreadnought. What Dreadnought? Redemptor Dreadnought was the thing. Space Marine units that you have to get.
So Space Marines. We already said fasting. We already said bikes. We also said assault intercessors.
Yeah,
with
we've
jump
done
packs.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast strike servo turrets.
No.
Get fast strike servo turrets.
Don't get them. Get something better. If you want gun, we've already spoken about Gladiator Lancers. There's no reason you can't have a Gladiator Lancer and a Land Raider.
John Price, thank you for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. GG's for John Price. Which Grossmus detachment did you think was the best?
The Bridgehead Strike. The
which
guard
they've
one.
nerfed.
Yeah, just.
They just nerfed it.
And that's
it was
why
winning
I don't pay attention.
It was winning all the tournaments. It was strong because it wasn't +1 to hit. It was that plus because we played it, and that +1 to wound with guard was super strong.
Well, that's because the reason it was strong. So it's strong anyway, but the reason it's strong is because they then changed the Tempest to Scions rule to be reroll wounds.
Yeah.
So reroll wounds and +1 to wound is strong.
Yeah.
But previously they had reroll to hit.
Yeah.
Which was different. So it wasn't as thing. It's just GW not thinking through their rules.
+1 to see. +1 strength doesn't mean that much, but +1 to wound mean that
massive,
bolters are wounding Warlord Titans on 5s.
Yeah.
+1 to wound on guard with strength 3 las guns means those las guns are wounding Land Raiders on 5s.
Yeah, it's why my White Scars are so strong now. +1 to wound with Oath of Moment.
They should be very careful before they add +1 to wound to anything.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's
why they're just going, cool, Oath of Moment is now +1 to wound. It's like, whoa, you remember when you said it was Oath of Broken with the reroll hits and wounds?
Yeah.
That's not as strong as what you've just done.
Yeah.
Because you've just given a blanket +1. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Space Marine player.
Oath of Moment is pretty broken.
And it means that I'm more likely to bring my my guys, like bring my salamanders and stuff.
Inceptors. I like Inceptors. Inceptors are a good unit.
They are a good
There's
unit.
a reason why they went up in points and then up in points, then up in points, and they've stayed high. They haven't touched the points for a while, but there's a reason why they're expensive.
I don't really use them.
You won't find Inceptors being that effective in just units of 3. They're one of those units that scale stupidly. Like 3 of them can hurt, but 6 of them really hurt.
Well, then you start getting 6s to hit.
Because it's the sustained and the twin linked, regardless of which it scales up exponentially, particularly with Oath of Moment again.
The bolters are better. Because the plasma only has 1 shot per gun. And whereas the bolters
you can
are
overcook the plasma and it can be higher.
But it doesn't get sustained.
It doesn't get sustained, and you've got twin linked on the bolters. And the
sustained hits 2 and twin linked to the massive part of the bolters. And I can't remember the plasma thing, but the bolters are pistol.
Yes.
As well. So if you do charge me and I'm toughness 6, and so there's a good chance I'm shooting you back in my turn.
Yes.
And then running away or whatever.
Particularly with Oath of Moment, things like that. Inceptors, there's a reason why they're stupid expensive. It's because they are very good. If you brought, I think they're like 260 points for a unit of 6, so just 2 of them deep striking in the backfield is 500 points. But they can delete a lot of things. They can delete.
Do you not think Inceptors look bad though? I think Inceptors
yes.
are one of those units, and that's probably why I don't use them very much, because again, it's the character. If they'd lent more into the astronaut thing they seem to have done with the helmets, I wanted more of that. I'd have been like, yeah, sold. But they didn't.
Another one of those.
And the arms are like...
We just talked about it, didn't we? About some of the models they make are the best models ever, but every now and then they drop a Nerf gun unit, and they drop... What I wanted, imagine if there was... with their legs
one
up,
guy kicking back off a thing,
or one guy did. There's all sorts of things they could have done with the poses, with the Inceptors, and I don't know who designed them, but it was the intern probably.
I'm glad they learned though in the period in between though, because they went through a whole stage of going, we're no longer having people jumping off of tactical rocks, we're having flying stance.
Yeah, and
I'm really pleased by the time they got to assault intercessors, they've gone to jumping off of tactical rocks again. So that's what they should have done with the Inceptors.
Yeah.
And if I do get more, I'll be doing more like that.
Yeah, jumping off
rocks and stuff. But it's a lot of kit bashing.
The Invader ATV was a dud. It could have been amazing. Yeah, the Invader. I mean, the Mario Kart. There's a reason why it got memed.
I don't mind that one as much, but it's probably because it's a must-take if you're playing bikes.
Yeah. How do you feel about Tau these days?
Tau cool. That new experimental prototype carder data sheet that dropped seems cool. Oh, how they struggle to balance the game?
Yeah.
Every quarter they're releasing new data sheets now.
Every quarter?
It's not data sheets, new detachments. They've just released 4 more. One of them is a Tau one.
I know they released more detachment data sheets recently. Data sheets.
Yeah, they're doing it every quarter now. Yeah.
Are they?
Yep.
They're going to release new things
I'll find
every
the article.
quarter.
Find the article,
No, I believe you.
I just make sure I'm right.
It's just like one of the things that they said they go through. Ah, dear. So at the end of 8th, beginning of 9th, one of the major problems they had is you needed 8 books to play the game. You remember coming around here?
Yep.
And you had
quarterly detachments, new rules for Tau Empire, Orcs, and Custodians.
Quarterly detachments.
Yeah.
So you remember you coming around here and you'd have your Pariah Nexus whatever book, and then you'd have your
yeah. I'd have my Space Marine. I'd had the Blood Angels Codex at the end of 8. I'd had the Blood of Baal edition.
Yes.
And then we'd have a rule set that stacks on top of that, and
then
your
Space Marine Codex. Yes.
This is when Space Marine Codex was separate to Blood Angels Codex.
Yes.
But yeah.
And then maybe a White Dwarf or an Imperial Armor as well, and it was across so many. And so they said, we're going to stop doing that. We're going to make sure it's there. And now they're splitting it up in there.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about the other day. I think I said the other day that a lot of the attachments are the same.
Psychic Awakening and
that was it. Psychic Awakening, which I think was the Blood of Baal book and all that kind of
Dark
stuff.
Omens. What was that one? They did another.
That was when that Vashtor guy showed up, and I thought he was going to be Dark Mech reveal, but then he didn't do anything. So but yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm all from having more fun things, but I just know they're going to change it again is the problem. If they just released it and left it and let the tournament players figure it out themselves, I'd be fine with it. But
do Inceptors have a place in the Blood Angels list? Asking a Blood Angels player with 10,000.
They do in the detachment, the one that's all about Angelic Host, which is all about redeploy. So at the end of the turn, you pick up 2 jump pack units as they come in reserve because it's more jump packs that can then do a D6, 6-inch away drop.
How many painted points of Blood Angels have you got? Over 10k?
Oh, I don't even know.
It's north of 10k.
Well, I'm going to bring 5k at some point with a Thunderhawk. And
have you got any Inceptors?
I've got 6.
For Blood Angels?
I've got maybe 9. I've got some plasma ones. They're not very well painted, though. They're old.
So you have got some,
in a box,
but they're not a thing in Blood Angels.
I mean, they're a thing, but just the way I will play Blood Angels, I will bring the ones with the chainswords. Because Sanguinius likes to drink blood.
Yeah, I think if you're doing it in Blood Angels and you're jumping in, they want to punch you because that's where they get their bonuses from.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that guns are bad, but they're still Space Marine guns. They're still good. And again, if you play in one of those games where you do want to do secondaries and stuff, which I don't do very often, then they're great. But yeah. I don't really do secondaries. Like you've been telling me multiple times, like, oh yeah, lots of small squads of assault intercessors because you can grab objectives in the backfield. And I was like, yeah, but if they're squads of 10, kill everything. Yeah. That's my tactic every time.
Yeah. Kill everything. I mean, kill everything is definitely a tactic. If you kill everything, if you disable the enemy's hand, the enemy cannot press the button.
Exactly. You can raise all the tomb worlds you want. Angry man with chainsword will win.
11th edition. It's 2 years ago. May was.
It'll be 2026 is the next edition if they're on the 3-year cycle.
Next year.
Yeah, June 26.
If they stick to the 3-year cycle, which they've stuck to since 7th edition.
I'm hoping 9th, they push this
10th
one.
Was 3 years.
Push it to 4.
I'm hoping it goes to 4 yearly cycles because Old World, AOS, Heresy, 40k.
So much going on.
And there's a new edition every year across the 4 systems. That's what I'm looking forward to, hopefully.
Yeah.
Rue, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. GG's in the chat, Rue. Thank you. People have been very generous with the gifting this evening. It's been very... Thank you. Good. GG's, Rue. Glad to see you still alive, buddy. Hang in there. He's been having an anus horribilis.
Cool.
That's Latin.
Bad bum.
No, it's got nothing to do with the anus, but it is an anus horribilis.
So yeah, June 26th.
What?
Is when the June 2026.
What?
That'll be when the 11th edition
June 2026.
Yeah.
They don't tell.
They don't tell us. Yeah.
They don't tell us. I might find out a couple of weeks before you guys. Literally a couple of weeks before you guys.
Yeah.
But
I think
used to be a couple of days, but now it's got a 4-year cycle would be much better.
Yeah. Just for 40k. I mean, AOS could do what it wants.
I mean, what codexes we've got to come there? We still haven't had Drukhari. We still haven't had Votan. We still haven't had World Eaters,
Space
Thousand
Wolves,
Suns, Space Wolves,
Black Templars,
Death Guard,
Grey Knights.
Black Temp. So all of these come. Say all of these come out by the end of the year. Someone's going to get a codex, and then in 4 or 5 months' time, the edition's going to change.
Well, that's what happened with the Imperial Guard in 9th edition.
Yeah.
They got their codex like 3 months before it changed.
It was 3 months.
Yeah.
And the World
so I didn't even buy the
World
book.
Eaters had it 4 months before.
Yeah.
And Imperial Guard had it 3 months before. And then the edition changed.
Yeah.
That sucked. But at least this time round, we had the index reset. Because the previous time round, there was no index reset. That means through 9th edition, if you're a Space Wars or Imperial Guard player, you were hanging around with an 8th edition codex through 2.5 years of 9th. Before your new codex dropped, and then 3 months later a new edition.
Yeah, I remember they used to I used to get early peeks at some of the codexes because they used to send it out to playtesters.
Yeah.
And I was on your
playtesting
NDA whatever. So yeah, I'd see them sometimes because you'd be like, can you look at this guard book or whatever?
Yes.
When it finally came out, I was like, wow, this guard book looks great, and then the edition ended.
Yeah.
And I never played it once. I didn't play that 9th edition guard once. I played all my 8th edition rules multiple times, and then didn't play 9th edition guard once. They were sat on a shelf for like 2 years.
I didn't do that.
Because I was waiting for their book.
Yeah. I wasn't part of the playtesting team.
Oh.
I got some crap, though.
It might have been... I must have got it from somewhere else then.
Yes.
This was back when DZ was a thing. So
yes.
This is a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
We're talking like 5 years
There's
ago.
a reason why they... Yes.
Yeah.
It was...
I was. Don't worry. I was fully legal. I'd signed pieces of paper. Because that's why I painted the Horus Heresy stuff as well.
They have occasionally asked me to do a few bits behind the scenes. They haven't asked me for years.
I don't think they do stuff like that at all anymore.
I've always said no. On the 3 occasions when I've been asked to do bits. See, the thing is, it's like, we've got this thing coming and we'd like to have a look on it and some feedback on it, right? And
yeah.
It's always about
random shit.
I want to... My feedback... So, for example, on this edition, I don't care, honestly, what the points cost of X is or what the AP of that gun is. Because generally speaking, most things aren't completely broken. There's some things that are overcosted, some things that are undercosted. Occasionally they do break. It all washes out in the end. What I care about is the game on a fundamental level. Is where is the mission pack for casual play? Because it's all Prior Nexus, Leviathan Nexus. Where is the open war deck? Where is the Maelstrom of War deck? Where is the casual play core thing?
Why don't they just do it the other way around? Why don't they just make the rules casual play, and then because they're already producing these match play decks, they just do that?
It blows my mind.
Like the core rules can just be casual.
It blows my... Look, it's a game. It's a dice game.
Yeah.
We like rolling dice. 1's a sad panda. 6 is happy. If you don't like rolling dice, you shouldn't play this game. It's a dice rolling game, right?
Yeah.
So 1, dice rolling is good. Scrap as many of the rerolls as you can. It should suck.
No, this is the
when
edition,
you roll
this is
bunch
the
of
edition
ones.
of less rerolls.
Get rid of like 99% of the rerolls.
That's what I do like about. I don't play Heresy as much, so I do like it.
Heresy,
Old World especially.
There's
like
hardly any rerolls.
But then it means that when your units that are really good.
Yeah.
So like Grail Knights for Bretonians on the charge, they have 2 attacks each, which is a lot.
Yeah.
For an Old World army.
Yeah.
Having 2 attacks, sometimes 3. They go flying in, and they hit on 3s. That is because their weapon skills so high, they're almost always hitting on 3s. That is a big deal. It's like hitting on 4s is the average, but Grail Knights hit on 3s a lot of the time, and then they wounding. Because wounding's good on 2s.
Yeah.
That shows that this really expensive unit that only has 1 wound per dude is incredible.
Yeah.
In this edition, like I have an 80-point intercessor squad who have 4 shots each and they're re-rolling everything and +1 to wound and everything.
Yeah.
As a Space Marine player, I'm like, oh, I feel good about this. But as the person being shot, you're like, for goodness sake.
It's a different system. It's a different...
What about all the battlefield smoke and dust obscuring them? Why are they re-rolling all the time?
So... Dice rolling, like Space Marines in Heresy have 1 attack.
Yes.
So
but
that
when they
means when
get
you,
through
when
the
your
armor, it's gone.
captain has 3, a 3 is a big deal in
Yeah.
40k, and intercessor has 3 attacks.
Well, Dominion Zephon comes in, he has like 6, and you're like, Jesus,
like, how does he get that many
he's
with his close
185
combat weapon
points.
and
He's
thing,
one
and
dude, yeah, and he's got a big sword.
Dice rolling. We like dice rolling. Games Workshop seem to be scared of the dice rolling, and let's have some re-rolls and some more re-rolls for your re-rolls. And no. If you roll 6 ones, it should suck. You shouldn't be able to pick up the 6 ones and re-roll all the ones.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to say, it's that side of things.
Every unit doesn't need its own thing.
Every unit doesn't need a special rule.
Give elite units, like the Terminators, can have a special rule.
Yeah.
Terminators can have the, let's say, Oath Moment sort of thing. Terminators can have, when they shoot the Oath Moment target, they get +1 to hit. Because they are Fury of the First. That's their thing. Vanguard veterans can have reroll charges, I don't know, because they're Vanguard veterans. Stern Guard can have +1 to wound against the target they're shooting. Like if they all disciplined fire or something. I don't know, making up the rules. But like elite units, elites can do it. But then your regular Space Marine intercessors, they don't need anything. They got good OC, just on an objective.
If every unit has its own special rule,
then no one does.
And they do.
Yeah.
And if all those special rules change from time to time because of balance updates and things like that, how can you ever learn that you can't? You can't learn the game properly because it's changing it. You can't. It's impossible. And that is that kind of fundamental level needs looking at.
This is where I thought they were doing.
Not whether this sword is AP1 or AP2. It's that fundamental.
But that's what I thought they were doing with 10th was universal special rules. Because in Heresy, there's nothing on their data sheet that makes things special. Sometimes there is.
Yeah.
But like, again, elite units, Crimson Paladins.
Yeah.
They're Feel No Pain, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a special rule on their sheet. But all their other rules, cumbersome, what's the one that they can't run? Is that cumbersome? I can't remember. They're all the other special rules. There's loads of rules attached to each unit, but because it's universal, everyone's got the same. Yeah. So like another one is Heart of the Legion. Yeah. That's a special rule. Yeah. And it's only on elite units that often get it, but everyone gets Heart of the Legion. You understand what that means. See, hatred. That's a good one.
Universal special rules work so well that it is in 10th edition 40k.
Yeah. Stealth. That's a universal special rule.
Lone op.
So why can't the ones where they say +1 strength on the charge
heavy,
just be Furious
assault,
Charge? Yeah.
Critical hits, devastating. Yeah. There's 3 pages of weapon universal special rules, but you also have lone operative, you have stealth.
But every time you read it, you go, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, apart from the fact in 40k they change it.
Yeah.
Because lone op has changed. It's like 18 inches or something.
8th and 9th edition, they said, no, we don't want universal special. We're going to get away from universal. We're going to destroy universal. But it's such a key part of making the game easier. Like if you're shooting at me with a thing, you can say, oh, this has got lethal hits. I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, and that's a universal. It's like the whole thing with Hellbrecht's +1 strength on the charge. Yeah. And a jump pack captain gets the same thing. But it's like called under Hellbrecht, it's called this, and it's +1 strength. And just call it Furious Charge.
So bring in. So
that's what we want.
10th edition, they brought back a chunk of universal special rules.
Bring the rest.
Bring the rest back. And then, it doesn't have to be as many as Old World and as many as Blood Bowl and as many as Heresy. But bring back, you could have 20 stock, like Furious Charge, Fearless, Hatred. There could be a
Oath of Moment. Your whole army gets Hatred against one unit. Good.
I know what that is. Yeah.
That's all it is. And I think Heresy is more complex than 40k core rules, but the data sheets feel simpler. Yes. Because it doesn't have all this guff on.
Yes.
But it does have all that guff on. It's just because it's universal special rules. Everyone knows what you mean. Yes. Rather than going, what's Rite of War? Yes. Oh, it's a free stratagem. It's like, oh, I've got this other one, but it's not called Rite of War, but it's also a free stratagem. Or reduce my CP by 1 because this piece of paper from April 25 says this. So
here's what I would do. So fundamental stuff. If I was redesigning 40k, there's loads. If I was improving the edition, not redesigning, I would get rid of 90% of, you say every single data sheet's got its own
sticky
rule.
Objectives and stuff. Yeah, get rid of it.
It's got its own 90% of them gone.
Just call it objective secured.
But you could still have them in 100% of the units. So intercessors could get sticky objectives, whatever that is.
Just call it objective secured. That's the universal special rate. Yeah, it means you keep it when you move.
So intercessors have objective secured and rangers have
tactical marines and Cadian shock troops and all that.
And then you go like eliminators and the sniper guys, they've got stealth.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of them. And you can have a couple in there. You could say Blade Guard have Furious Charge and
extra strength as they go in. Yeah.
say here's a rule.
And hatred, whatever they charge.
Here's a rule for you. Say they introduce a rule called Bulwark, which is Bulwark is this unit is -1 to wound.
There you go.
Yeah. So and they have Furious Charge, Hatred, Bulwark.
That's
and
a great word for it
mean.
as well, because even if it's a demon, it can be a bulwark.
Bulwark.
Yeah.
Because you can do other things with that. You can say this unit has Bulwark if the strength of the weapon exceeds the toughness.
Which is what happens in Heresy.
So you
again,
could
no one's
tweak
saying
it that
Heresy
way.
is simple.
You can
It's
go
just
Bulwark,
easier to
-1 to wound no matter what, but
Yeah.
Bulwark if the strength is higher than the toughness one.
Yeah.
So you could do that with it, and then on the named characters like Dante,
You can have a
Guilliman,
special thing.
then they could have a special thing written in. This guy's Dante, therefore Dante has this.
Well,
but
yeah,
he's
Dominion
also got-
Zephon he's the one I remember, right? So Dominion Zephon in Heresy, his
Yes.
version of that is
Yes.
he has a 5 Fiona Pain because he's got bionics.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
he's been rebuilt by Ark and Land. That's his
Yes.
thing.
So you could scrap 90% of all these special things that you've got in every
Yeah.
single thing, replace them with universal special rules. It doesn't get rid of the flavour though, because you can tweak with it. You can say like, you
can
do
still
it right
balance
now.
it.
Like this
Yeah,
unit has a 5-up feel no pain, but this unit has a 5-up feel no pain to mortal wounds. We get that right now all the time with extra bits.
Yeah.
And then on the characters themselves, you can have special stuff for Mortarion.
And it
special
doesn't
stuff for this,
change
special
how
stuff for that.
complex the game is to
No.
play, because whilst Heresy is a complex game up front, once
Yes.
you've learned it, it's easy.
Yes.
40k's rule set doesn't need to change to allow this to work.
And you know what?
It's still an easy rule set to start.
You can do it with the strats as well.
Yeah.
You can say, here's 1 CP stratagem.
Lance. Done. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 CP stratagem, Blood Angels use Lance. 1 CP stratagem, in the shooting phase, your unit has a 5-up feel no pain. 1 CP stratagem, your unit gets Bulwark. In
Yeah.
the fight phase, start the fight phase, you can lock shields and gain Bulwark. You can put it in the stratagems as well.
Yeah. And then your stratagems are written quickly.
And you can put it in 90% of the enhancements as well.
Yeah.
If you have a good universal special rules pool.
Well, they already do. Lethal hits and sustained hits are enhancements.
Yes.
That's the thing they can put in. So one of the ones
Simplify the
is
game.
so the way they changed it for
I think we just sold 40k, by the way.
it sold bits of it. Yeah. Is they just stop rebalancing it now?
Oh.
Or well, they can keep rebalancing it, but just not for everybody.
Yeah.
Like technically balanced data slate is an optional, but when you run a YouTube channel, you kind of have to follow it because match play is the only way to
Kind of have
play.
to follow it.
If it was a casual game with a match play option,
Yes.
then you could do what you want.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you can do what you want, but you would feel more that you can. Because right now, people watch you and they're like, "How does the game play now?" That's what they want. Whereas if it's a casual game and the match play stuff is kind of at arm's length,
It's not just that though. I mean, I've always played. It's not just the YouTube thing. Even before the YouTube thing, I've always played the version of 40k, whatever version it is.
yeah. I'm not saying stop that. I'm just saying this is a bit different, right? To like
Yeah.
in 5th edition when you played whatever version it was,
Yeah.
it wasn't changing every 6 months.
No,
You know.
no. It's
So-
only just started changing every.
And
6
that's
months.
why I wonder if it's
this
one of
is
those
a new
deals
thing.
where if they do it this backwards way where they have their rule set and they release a casual version that says essentially here's some narrative additions, narrative things you can do. You can use a stratagem
Yeah.
twice in a phase because who cares? Why would the captain stop using what works? That kind of thing. You can use you don't have to use the balanced data slates
Yeah.
and you use the points as printed in your codex or whatever. Just let them do that. Like
That's what I was
that's
going to
how you
say
can do it.
earlier on about the dice rolling. You know, casual thing. Another thing is games, as well as we like dice rolling games. Games should be casual fun first, competitive second. Imagine if every single game of football was competitive. So when the 6-year-old kids are running around,
Yeah.
you know, football isn't just competitive. You got the 6-year-old kids. You got Sunday leagues. It's fun, casual. Monopoly,
Like five
fun,
sides fun. Yeah.
casual. Call of Duty, you've got the competitive scene and then you've got the fun, casual zombie mode, single player. Games should be designed, all games. People start playing games because they're fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing.
And then competitivism
Yeah.
on top.
I mean, my favourite games are single player role playing games. Like I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West right now, and it's really fun. That's
Nice.
a single player game. It's a story game. Ghost of Tsushima was one I just played twice in a row because
Nice.
I played it before as well, but I just played it again. It's great. I love it. Single player role playing game, story driven, narrative.
Story driven.
That's what I want, and that's what the games I like.
Damn Legion, thank you so much for the thing up there.
Oh, gosh,
Morning
I
Winters,
didn't
you're
see
glad
that.
to see you streaming your Ocean stream. Thank you so much for the 2 months membership, Dan Legion. Sorry, I was on a massive rant there for a second.
Yeah, well, we both were. I just want to
And
respond to
Service
John.
Skull, thank you for gifting another membership, Service Skull. Love you. Thank you very much. GG's in
GG's.
chat for Service Skull. Sorry, we're on one this evening.
Yeah, we're solving the world's problems.
Solving the world's... What
the
was the
event
thing?
So John Price said, do you think Sword Brethren will go to squads of 3 like Sanguinary Guard? No, I don't, because they already come in boxes of 5, and GW just maxes the boxes, and they've already had their refresh 3 years ago.
Well,
so they're not going to get redone. Maybe in 10 years' time, if they're still doing this threes thing, maybe. But they're really cool sculpts, and they're still brand new in my eyes. So
thank you, Dan Legion. Yeah, thank you. Story driven. Have you done BioShock? Have you done Dead Space?
I'm not a fan of horror things because I'm a wimp. I like reading horror books, but
Dead Space ain't that
jump scary.
It's horror, but
it's not really my scene.
It's just story driven. It's like I like
some of the best stories I've had. Honestly, I don't know who makes the games, but some of the PlayStation exclusive games.
Yeah.
And again, Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon are both PlayStation. God of War, the reboot, and I haven't played Ragnarok yet. That's next on the list. But they come out on PC. I have a PC, so when they come out on PC a couple of years later with all the DLCs, that's when I buy them. So I love those games. Whoever's writing those stories, same as like Naughty Dog did Uncharted and Last of Us, and Rockstar did Red Dead, and it's the stories are so good. These writing teams are some of the best in the world. Like, but they're better than TV writers a lot of the time because they have the ability to expand and do let the story breathe. Whereas sometimes TV writers and movie writers can't because they need to keep a narrative thing. But when you're playing as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead 2, you spend hours with that guy.
Yes.
Like learning who he is. Likewise, I'm playing Aloy in Horizon. It's like her story and the overarching world story is so interesting. You're invested in that character.
Yeah.
Love narrative-based games like that. I also love Civ sometimes. But yeah.
Rockstar, though, I mean, probably the most successful gaming studio. All they've done
Activision, technically, but
but I mean,
story-based gaming, yes. I think Rockstar probably win.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out this year, and it's going to take over the world.
It's been, 13 years? 13 years.
Well, it's because they made billions on the live service.
I don't think it's coming out this year either.
It is coming out this year.
Is it this year?
Yeah, later this year. Basically, GTA 5 live service thing made them billions and billions, which pushed GTA 6 back. But yeah, Red Dead, it's just, you're talking about... Have they made a bad game? I mean, I even played Bully back in the day, and that was a good game.
Bully's a good game. I didn't play it. I watched someone play it on YouTube. It was great. Enjoyed that. But yeah, some really good games.
Oblivion remake this year?
Cool.
I hope it's not shit.
It doesn't. It just needs to be Oblivion again. I don't mind how jank it is. It needs to be jank.
Yeah.
Oblivion. The charm of Oblivion is it's jank.
To be fair,
like the man stuck in the snow. Indeed, like his head sticking out of the snow.
To be honest, if they redid it with modern graphics without all the bugs in it, it would be epic. That's all. With the Master Chief Halo collection, they just redid it, and with Dead Space, they just redid it, and they added a bit, but not too much.
The bit that they did with, I don't know if it was Master Chief Collection or if it was just the Combat Evolved Anniversary, but the ability to switch to the old graphics, I liked that too.
Yeah,
just as a fun little
the Master
feature.
Chief Collection,
yeah. So that'd be cool for Oblivion too. Just go back and suddenly it's Ice Cream Head Man, like looking at you. What do you think they'll do with Jump Vanguard veterans?
I think they're coming.
I think they're coming. I'm hoping we get our weapons back.
Sternguard were redone, right?
Yeah.
Sternguard were redone.
They still got all that. They did. So I was thinking of their weapon options.
Yeah, I'm saying look, some units are so popular they won't die. Like Terminators, look at them. They were redone. And we're going to get Assault Terminators in 11th edition. I mean, I don't know anything, but if I'd put my mortgage on the fact that they're going to be on the box art with new claws, new hammers.
Yeah, it's two weapon options. They're good.
They're going to be back.
Vanguard, I worry about though, because they have so many options.
I think they're coming back, and you're going to have Vanguard with...
As long as, for me, all they need to do with Vanguard veterans... I want to be able to take all claws.
Yeah.
Or all. I don't care if it's power axes, power maws, power swords, because they're not. They're different. They're all the same thing now. They're all power weapon.
Yeah.
I just want a few of those different options so they can flavour them out.
Yeah.
And so basically, I can choose between all lightning claws, all power weapons, or a mix of.
Yeah.
And then one guy with a thunder hammer or something. I don't mind if they say you can't take everyone with thunder hammers.
Yeah.
I would prefer they did because it's more options.
Yeah.
Because Terminators can. Why can't Vanguard Vets? That was kind of their thing.
Yeah.
So Thunderhammers, Lightning Claws, Power Weapons, and Chainswords as an option. I'd be happy with all those. Just Chainsaw. If they take Chainswords, give them 5 attacks instead of 4.
Yeah.
Or make them hit on 2s. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can't see them not bring them back.
I think they just won't have as many weapon options. I really want lightning claws. I think that's what's going to drop. You might have, like they did with the Black Templars, you might have a dude with a hammer, a dude with lightning claws, 3 dudes with power weapons. So I think that's what they're going to do. And that would suck a little bit because it's not as flavourful.
I mean, look at the Stern Guard weapon pack. It's very prescriptive, isn't it?
You can have bolters and a heavy bolter, and bolters and a flamer, or combi weapons, which are all the same thing. When
so if they release a pack and in it there is 2 guys with claws and 1 guy with a hammer and shield and another guy, that would be annoying AF. I would still get them because they're another unit for my combat armies. And your Space Marines and combat and flying.
My White Scars, Black Templars, and Blood Angels would all very much like Vanguard veterans, please and thank you. But I would love to be able to take all claws again because that was my favourite unit in 8th and 9th. Was again with Blood Angels, it was a bit strong, +1 to wound and reroll everything. Yes. But that's all they had because you didn't have Assault Intercessors with jump packs back then. No. Now you have a mix. Like I'd like to be able to take couple of those guys again. Yes. And you don't get +1 to wound anymore, Blood Angels. And then the lore as well. So Vanguard veterans don't go, they're the veterans. These are the vets. These are the first companies. And first company just don't go all in Terminator all the time. Sometimes they deploy with guns and they're the Vanguard. Yeah. And sometimes they, hey, let's break out all the close combat. And they're the veterans. Exactly. They can do what they want. Just to answer Drazith, I hope they give us lightning claws because so far we haven't seen any Primaris lightning claws. We have seen a couple of lightning claws. Coming. So we've seen lightning claws on the Black Templars Sword Brothers. Yes. So there's 1 dude in each 5-man squad who can take lightning claws, and they're really bloody good. Yep. Which is why I want a squad of 5 dudes with lightning claws because it's twin linked 5 attacks. It's amazing. Yep. With them, it's 2 damage. Yep. And then the only other one I know of is Shrike. Yeah. Who has the Raven's Talons, which is 7 attacks, twin linked, 2 damage. Yes. Your guy found out about that guy. Yes. Yeah. It's the first time I'd used Shrike in combat because he died last time. Yeah. I mean, Terminators are popular. They're coming back. Assault Terminators, what weapons do they have? They have lightning claws. So they'll come they'll be great. You're going to see a captain with lightning claws. You're going to see all the stuff. When it comes to Space Marines are so popular. All the stuff that they ever made will be coming back over the course of a decade. Over the course, bit by bit, because they will sell us all the models that they sold us before again, knowing that they sold before. I'll buy them again. That's my problem. I'm part of the issue. Heresy, 40k. Look, they released a whole new game system, and it turns out it's the second most popular game system. Heresy is more popular than Old World and AOS. Turns out people really like Space Marines. Their most popular game system, Warhammer 40k. Second most popular system, Heresy. Why? Space Marines. They made everyone buy all their Space Marines again. Do you think Old World's overtaken AOS? Or can we not tell because everyone who's playing Old World buys AOS models to use in Old World? Because that's what I do. It'd be a tricky one. And also there's... All my lizard men are AOS models, or most of them, and all my vampire counts will be AOS models. I do know a couple of shopkeepers, because I did remember when the stories were coming out about the heresy thing, I did push and try and find out what their sales are. Yeah. To see whether it was true that heresy is outselling AOS. And everyone I spoke to said yes. Except for one who said maybe, didn't know, but probably. But again, is it because they're buying heresy for 40k? It's like double. Like double the amount of that AOS is doing. I buy a lot of heresy stuff for 40k. So it's Old World outselling AOS. But it's hard to tell again, isn't it? The Old World range isn't that broad at the moment. There's not a lot. So people are buying AOS, like you said. And some people are 3D printing stuff because the range is not broad enough. So people are supplementing it from other sources. I think so. The Highland, if anyone's looking at getting 3D prints for super cheap for Old World, Highland miniatures are really good. They do like Empire Bretonians. They do loads of army. I don't think they've done everything yet, but they do a lot of good stuff. They have a Patreon if you want to do that kind of thing. But you can just go on eBay and people who own the files have a license to print them for you. So I spent like £20. Yes. And I can get 10 dudes on horses. Yeah. How that like compared to GW, you buy 3 Grail Knights for 40 quid. Yeah. So they're doing it to themselves, man. I was on the website talking about stuff. I'll let you get your phone to show me how you use the internet. It's not. There's not enough stuff available for Old World. I agree. Yeah. Yesterday, I was on the website for Emperor's Children,
because I wanted to buy a bunch of demon stuff to add. It's all out of stock.
Oh yeah, GW stuff's always out of stock.
So they do. So it's Old World 40k Heresy. It's out of stock all the time.
Yeah.
It just they're making people go and find models from other sources.
Agree. Yeah, I went on there the other day.
So bad.
I wanted to find if I could buy Kinjar.
Right.
Kinjar.
The
master of the Keshik.
Temporary out of stock.
Yep. So here we go. This dude, he's got like a Chinese dragon mask.
I got Fulgrim up there for the Horus Heresy. It took me 9 months to get a Primarch. It's a Primarch.
It's mad, isn't it?
Horus Heresy, their second biggest selling game system.
Also,
a Primarch took me 9 months. What the hell?
Hibu Khan.
Hibu Khan.
So I'm showing him up. It's the slightly newer guy.
Of the Keshik.
You can kind of see him. He's the Ebon Keshik because he betrayed the Khan and all that. Spoilers for Scars. It came out in 2012 or something. Guess how much that one dude on a 32mm base Space Marine is?
I'm going to say it's Games Workshop Forge World, so I'm going to say 40 quid.
£37.50.
Yeah.
He is a 32mm Space Marine. Yeah, that is outrageous, isn't it? And he's out of stock. And then the only other one that is that new Stormseer. Just trying to find him. Stormseer console. He is plastic, so he's available. He's
available.
He's brand new, and because he's plastic, he's available.
Yeah.
He's still £27.50 there.
Brilliant.
For a plastic miniature.
Brilliant.
Not saying resin's better or anything, just we know that's more expensive. It's like you look at all this stuff. Like if I put in Ebon Keshig, because I want more of those.
Right.
For my White Scars.
Yes.
They are temporarily out of stock and £78 for 5 guys.
£78 for 5.
And out of stock.
The Justeran Terminators that I got for the Sons of Horus were 70 quid for 5, and they didn't come with weapon options.
So just armless.
Which I didn't know until I got them. So then I got the weapon. £98 for 5.
With the once you'd bought the weapon options.
Once I got the weapon options.
And shipping, probably.
98. I don't know how much the shipping was. That's how much it cost.
It's ridiculous.
98 quid for
Heresy
5.
is like you have to find almost different ways to get around it because you can't just keep. I mean, the problem is as well with Heresy stuff, like the resin stuff.
Being an affiliated
Element doesn't
Games
sell
Workshop
them.
channel, I would not recommend getting. But however,
look for 3D prints because I'm not affiliated.
Get a friend who's got a 3D printer.
But yeah. I mean, that's the worst part. Yeah, so Damn Legion saying that now look at the same thing, but New Zealand prices.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for
like Australia and New Zealand. Like America pay a lot.
Well, we think we pay a lot, but America, whatever the cost of anything is,
add 50% for America.
It's about 25.
Okay, well, add 70 for New Zealand, I guess. Yeah.
Down under, it's nearly double.
Nearly double.
Nearly double.
Crazy.
Nearly double.
It's outrageous. And that's why 3D printing, it won't ever kill Games Workshop because you need a Games Workshop to... They feed each other, right? Games Workshop make their thing, 3D printers then copy that thing, and that's what sells. But the 3D printers won't sell anything if Games Workshop isn't around anymore. Yeah. Because the game isn't about anymore. They kind of, like... I'm not saying the 3D printing feeds Games Workshop, I'm saying that the 3D printing can't exist without. So... They're symbiosis in that kind of way. So,
if they had... If you could buy the things from Games Workshop, that would take some money away from the 3D printer, but you can't get...
Half the time you can't even get them, yeah.
But also, why Games Workshop doesn't sell SDL files to 3D printer people...
Even just for bits and stuff, you know? Like, do your primary range, let's say you could buy Assault Intercessor bodies, 3D prints, and the weapon options.
Here's the thing. You're the CEO of Games Workshop, right? 3D printer market starts taking off 10, 15 years ago, right? Why hasn't Games Workshop released their own Games Workshop 3D printer?
Why doesn't Games Workshop...
Why don't they control the 3D printer market?
Let's not release a 3D
miniatures.
printer. We can affiliate with some good companies like Frozen or whatever, or Elegoo, I don't know. But you do all that, you affiliate, and you have a officially licensed printer that they make.
Yeah, officially
Games Workshop doesn't have a dog in the fight, but you release all your STLs on a Patreon model, and if you pay for Warhammer TV, you get discounts on these things, or if you become a Warhammer TV level 3 subscriber, which you should do on Winter's channel, by the way, you can then get these monthly print releases for free. So this month we're doing Heresy releases for Forces of the Imperium, and it's a 3D printed bits pack like you'd get from Grimdark Miniatures or whoever, or all the guys who do it on their Patreon now, but you also get the Warhammer 40k app and the Warhammer Horus Heresy app when it comes out or whatever. You get your app subscription, and then you also get these bits that are thrown out.
I just wonder how many subsidiary markets exist because of Games Workshop. How big is the 3D printer market for the small, not the big three, because of Games Workshop? How big is the battle map market and resin terrain market because of Games Workshop?
They're all big. Yeah.
Why don't they own or have affiliates with these? There's so much money they leave on the table. It baffles me.
Their merchandise stuff and things like that.
Still, they make so much money, and still £2,000.
Well, Jacques has a good point here. He said GW plans to make X number kits, budgets to sell those kits.
Yes.
They then sell out, so they hit their targets and make profit, and their high street stores stay open. It is good business. I suppose from their angle, they are selling out, therefore making good amount of thing. We complain as consumers, but where are we going? We're not stopping buying things.
No,
we just go. I still can't get Hibu Khan. I guess I'll buy another box of Assault Intercessors.
And here we are ranting and raving. But before 8th edition, Games Workshop's share price has gone up 2,500% since the end of 7th edition.
I wish I'd been a stocks person.
You know, if you had £100 on Games Workshop at the end of 7th edition,
what would it be, like 250,000?
250,000
per share. Well, but £100
if you had
£100,
it would be worth $250,000 now.
Wow, could have bought a house. Well, actually, in this economy,
it went up to it's over 2,500% since the end of 8th. End of 7th edition.
I wish. I mean, I was alive then, obviously, and I was earning full-time money, so I wish I had. But I wouldn't earn anything like that. No one could have expected that. There's a multiple thing of a successful relaunch with a narrative change that people went, oh, and COVID.
And then COVID.
Yeah. Same as Activision, right? With their thing. We just released Warzone to see if we could compete with Fortnite as a funsies thing. Yeah. Our second team, B-tier developers, B-team of developers have done it. And then COVID, and then they're massive.
I'm convinced that Activision and Games Workshop met in a sauna somewhere in like Slav.
And the housing market.
Yeah. And right. What we need to do is, and they unleashed COVID on the world.
There we go.
And Yeah, we've been banging on for 2 hours. I never bang on for 2 hours on the live stream. We had a proper chat this evening.
We did.
We need to start wrapping it up.
I just don't want to ignore Matt P because he's asked a couple of
times. But Monkey's come in the chat, and I like ignoring Monkey as soon as he turns up and going. It's like when Monkey turns in the chat, it's a nice time to leave.
I mean, what time is it? Like 10 p.m? He's just had his dinner. Yeah.
Has he? Yeah. It's 10:15.
Yeah, it means he's only just eaten.
What did Matt say?
Sultan, I don't have any socials except for YouTube, so I don't know if you said this already. Are you planning on returning to YouTube? I don't know. You got to chase what makes you happy, and YouTube wasn't making me happy. It's a lot of work, and I have a full-time job, and I do a lot of commission painting, which I really enjoy. So if it's a choice between doing commission painting and YouTube, I'll do commission painting. So if you know anyone who needs stuff painted, hit me up. I like painting, but my full-time job is very busy, and there's a lot of stress elsewhere in my life with moving house and stuff.
I get asked on streams and like YouTube and things and hints and things. If you're gonna do a channel, it becomes a hobby in itself.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy making videos and doing that hobby in itself, then great, keep doing it. If you don't have the time or lose love for the hobby or many, many, many other reasons why, then don't do it. So you did the YouTube channel for a long period of time.
3 years, and then
great hobby.
Yeah.
Made lots of great
content. I'm never
content.
saying never. So yeah.
And at the moment, it's on a pause.
Like hiatus, unannounced, because I didn't realise I was doing it.
Not sure.
until I stopped and went took a breath.
Job's really busy at the moment.
Yeah, job is busy, but
trying to move house right now. If anyone wants to buy a house in Swindon, don't.
Also, having been on medication for ADHD, where it allows me to focus on things, I don't feel the need to jump between tasks so often. So, yeah.
So, and
thanks,
basically didn't have the time and the thing and the stuff to put into doing the YouTube like you used to, and also that bug, that drive, that I want to make a video, that, the
videos that they didn't ever go viral, right? But when they went really well, I've got 100,000 views on one of the videos, 50,000 on another. They just all you see, and as a creator, as someone who's in the audience, you don't notice this because you might scroll through the comments like once a while and go, when you're a creator, you get notifications.
Yeah.
And every time I got a notification, it was always just like, this is crap.
Yeah.
And stuff. And it's like when you see it on your own phone, when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, check my phone because check the time or whatever. And then the first thing you see in the morning is a YouTube comment saying, hate this, or you suck, or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though it's someone you've never met, it does like suck. So it's just like, ugh.
Again and again and again and again.
It was the again and again and again and again. Yeah.
And again and again and again and again. And the other thing is, as a human, we're triggered to respond
to life or death.
More to negative than we are to praise. If I say, Sultan, you're awesome, you're a great painter, a great opponent, a great friend.
I'm waiting for the but. That's what's happening. It's the survival instinct.
He's waiting for the but.
Yeah.
But there is no but. And he'll forget about that.
That's the problem.
And then, like, in 3 weeks' time, I'll say, do you remember that time when I bigged you up and gassed you up on stream? We go, no, you never did. But if instead I call his relatives bad names and besmirch his beard and launch him out that window there, he'll remember that for years.
Yeah.
So that drip, 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 it does. You've got to get a big, thick scar. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. I missed the Ruth. GG's, Ruth. Thank you for the donation. Thank you. You've got to get, and it's got to become a hobby in itself, and you've got to enjoy it, and you've got to, and yeah, it can get hard.
I realised it was harder work for a lot less return.
Right.
Than just trying to do well at my day job.
Yeah.
Because could it have one day been a career? Probably not, because it hadn't taken off in 3 years, but maybe, you never know. But, let's say it could have been.
Yeah.
The money you get from YouTube, if you do want to make a career, is not.
It's
with all the kind donations from people like your audience, which is exceptional.
Yes.
It's still, YouTube takes a cut, there's a lot going on, and you have taxes, and so on and so on. So there's lots in the background with that. Whereas if you just, like my job, I'm pretty well paid for what I do. Yeah. And there are promotion prospects. YouTube can't promote you. You want a pay rise, algorithm, mercy, so yeah, I knew if it was the fact that it wasn't taking off, one thing, but also like it was going to be a job, it was just going to be a stress, never knowing what's going on. You do it really well, and you've done it for long enough now that you kind of know the ebbs and flows and what happens, and you seem to deal with it really well.
I'm just waiting for it. It's I think I'm being
still feels unreal
time
for you.
For full, yeah, it's still
yeah.
I've still got in the back of my mind, it's all going to come crashing down next week, next month, whenever, and I'll go get a normal job. Like,
yeah, you haven't needed to yet.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
McDonald's are always hiring, and I like cheeseburgers. Marius, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it. Got two. I only ordered one of the discontinued Imperial Fist, Praetor, and Terminator armor by 4-year-old E-Way Beware, $200 $200 for one. Wow. Holy crap balls! That is. Yeah.
eBay one, yeah. That's a lot. eBay's supposed to be where you can get cheap stuff, and there's sometimes you do. And then other times it's people who know what they're selling.
Other times it's this is now
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people who knows what I'm selling, so I know my prices are high, but often like I sold my Crimson Fists a month or two ago. Again, moving house, need to get some money in the bank.
Clear out. You've got
clear some space, and also have some money in the bank just in case, because you never know what's going to happen when they're moving house.
I'm running out of space in there.
Well, same, yeah. So it was just get rid of them, and I put them up for a high price because they were professionally painted by me, like edge highlighted and everything, and recess shaded, and they went for what I'd asked for, which was great. But I know that's not everyone's going to do that. Whereas if you put up an army, you want it gone, and you put it up for 400 quid, it's going to gone. Yeah. And that's the kind of deals you look for. Or job lots are always a good one if you're looking for a deal on eBay, because you never know what's in a job lot. They're just a box of stuff, and you just go, if you know what bits you're looking at, someone who's bought it, like Brat buys job lots sometimes, and like a car boot or whatever, and you go, okay, cool, and look through it and go, right, I've spent 10 quid on this job lot of sprue clippings essentially, and he'll go, this one piece is worth this entire box. Yeah. He can look at it and go, I know how much this goes for on eBay.
Because Brap sells bits, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does really well.
He sells bits on eBay. He's got whole bits. I know that because all the sprues, I'm not allowed to chuck away all the sprues.
Well, it's because you're a good friend.
And then I keep the sprues, and then I see Brap about once every 6 months, and I give him the sprues. And I always ask him, what bits do you want? He said, anything, but it's only got a hand and a left shoulder and a belly button. I want the belly button. Okay, I'll give him the
because he can put the belly button into a bag of other belly buttons and sell it, or just the one belly button might be a rare piece. Who knows?
It's like so much work for him, but he's got a system down now.
I couldn't do it. It's too organised. I know. Like he just knows what he's doing.
That's what he does.
But then other people will be like, couldn't paint. So Yeah.
Is that yeah?
But then other people will be like, I wouldn't want to paint other people's armies for so long. I was like, I quite enjoy it. I'll sit, listen to Rest is History and paint.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been going on for ages. Thank you for I appreciate you love the heresy content, and for those CXE, for those tier 3 channel members, there is some more heresy coming tomorrow for Winter's Wednesday thingy. But there's a heresy 3,000 point Sigismund versus Khan at the weekend. I've got 2,000 points of Emperor's Children with a Knight versus Necrons.
We're going to be filming a 5,000 point Blood Angels versus something.
At some point,
I
don't know what
I'm here next week.
With a Reaver Titan, probably.
And I'll have a Thunderhawk. Do you know what? I realised you could put jump pack guys in Thunderhawks.
Can you?
So Dante with all his boys is going to come flying out of a Thunderhawk.
Why?
And the Thunderhawk, guess what rule it has?
It only moves in 6 before you can get out, though. Right on the edge of the table.
Do you know what rule a Thunderhawk has?
What does it have?
Assault ramp.
Yeah, but...
It's called aerial drop. No, because when the flyer comes on, and then next turn it flies, and after it's moved, they jump out and assault.
Okay.
It does the land
It
has
got an assault
It's called aerial drop. Jump pack units can charge on a turn. They make a normal move and charge when they jump out, basically.
Okay, so I've got a turn to weaken it before it just
toughness
hits me with
12, 30 wound thing. And if you do weaken it and it blows up, you've still got Dante and some Sanguinary Guard hanging about for next turn.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yes. And then that is the longest live stream that we've done. My wife is going to get us.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
We've got to go. We've got to go.
Thank you all.
We've got to go.
Bye-bye.
Say something intelligent to the people.
Something intelligent to the people. E equals MC squared. Bye.
I just farted. No, I was trying to think of a nice sign off. Like, thanks for hello everyone. Good night, Sullivan. Jackus Woods.
Well, Winters, that was a
Silver
tour de
Crow.
force. Bye-bye.
Thank you for all the people who swung by this evening, and thank you to Sultan for coming by this evening as well.
Thanks.
I just farted again. Happy. Can you smell that?
No, I don't want to.
Happy wargaming.
I'm holding my breath.